Kansas City Chiefs own the NFL's best record, yet not everyone has labeled them the best. So the Chiefs come to Dallas today with more than victory on their minds. They arrive searching for the recognition their record warrants, seeking the respect their season merits, vying for validation as the NFL's best. Today's challenge for the Chiefs, the Cowboys, owners of 2 Super Bowl titles in the 90s, branded as the league's most explosive offense, led by a triumvirate of established stars. Beat these Cowboys in their home, you have instant validation. For at least one Kansas City player, this game is a long-awaited opportunity. Most of quarterback Steve Bono's big game experience has been watching from the sideline as his mentor, Joe Montana, led their teams to victory. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs are his. If he is to emerge from the long shadow cast by Super Joe, he needs to engineer a victory in a game like this. Then there's the Chiefs' 35-year-old running back, Marcus Allen. He knows the joy of success. 12 years ago, he left his stamp on Super Bowl 18 with an indelible MVP performance. Marcus relishes the opportunity to prove he still competes with the best. Today, Texas Stadium provides that stage. Head coach Marty Schottenheimer has led his teams to 3 AFC championship games. This season may be his finest coaching job, but in a world where you're only as good as your last game, Schottenheimer must win in Dallas for his team to be considered among the elite. So Kansas City is in Dallas with an opportunity to earn the nation's respect, to be stamped a serious Super Bowl contender. An upset victory against the Cowboys would be their validation. Beautiful Thanksgiving Day in Big D, Irving, Texas, and famed Texas Stadium sold out to see the teams with the best records in football. Kansas City 10-1, a record 7 consecutive wins against the Dallas Cowboys 9-2. The tradition continues on this Thanksgiving Day, and we wish all of your loved ones and your friends the very best on this day. And if you're just enjoying a little dessert, we'll keep some off the side. We're all coming home eventually. Marty Schottenheimer looking for that validation. And we talked to him yesterday. He had many ways in which he figured Kansas City could win. Most important thing he said was, I believe that my 46 players are better than Dallas's 46.
He also said right after that, Dick, that on his 46 players, he has the best depth he has ever had on a football team. Now, they interchange everywhere, offensively and defensively. Obviously, they don't interchange at quarterback. But he also said this. He said, you think about their starting 22, they may be a little bit better than our starting 22. Now, how do they beat the Dallas Cowboys? Let's take a look at defensively. They have to do it there. The one thing they have to do, not allow the big play, and most importantly, and this is most importantly, Phil, that you cannot let Emmitt Smith beat you with the big play. You got to try to slow him down.
Well, you're right, Paul. And I think what they're going to do here, they learned something from the San Francisco 49ers a couple weeks ago, who came in here and played aggressive, especially on the receivers, Michael Irvin. Look for Kansas City defense to hit him, to double cover him, and also look for Mark Collins, the safety, to walk up on Jay Novacek to beat him around the line of scrimmage. So Troy Aikman has to hold that ball just a second longer. On offense, look for Kansas City offense to run it hard at this Dallas defensive line that is beat up and has injuries. That's where they have to have success.
That could be critical because the Cowboys had no less than 22 players listed on the injury list for the NFL office prior to this game. With more on that includes some prime players, we go down to the field in Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Well, special teams could really be a problem for the Cowboys today. During the warm-up, punter John Jett had to leave the field. He was taken back. He has bad back spasms. So Barry Switzer, the head coach, tells us that Chris Bonio will have to punt today. The last time he punted was 2 years ago in college at Louisiana Tech. Now, as for Deion Sanders, he has a very sore, pulled left groin. He will not play on offense today, according to Barry Switzer. He also probably will not play on special teams. If he does, it will only be as a decoy. Dick?
Thanks, Jim, and we're ready to go. The Cowboys, with that top-rated running offense, will get it first. Lynn Elliott, a former Cowboy, sends it on its way, and this Thanksgiving Day game underway. Kevin Williams, the former University of Miami star, takes it to the 30-yard line, and here come the Cowboys and Troy Aikman. Aikman with 11 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, and he's been sacked only 7 times because on this Thanksgiving you can find the beef of the Cowboys right there. 2A, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Williams. No line in the NFL bigger. Aikman has the sensational Emmitt Smith, 20 touchdowns. The blocker, Darrell Johnston, Moose. Michael Irvin has 77 catches. Williams, the other wide out. Jay Novacek, tight end, 50 catches. And in the 3 wide, Corey Fleming enters. Struggle back to the line of scrimmage. Sally Amua was able to invade, make the initial hit. Simeon finished the job at the 30. Here are the men in red, and they have many fans from Kansas City here at Texas Stadium. Neil Smith, Joe Phillips, Sally Amua, and Booker, the front 4. George Jameson, Tracy Simeon, and All-Pro Derek Thomas. The backers, Carter and Hasty at the corners. White for the injured Brian Washington starts, and Mark Collins, the former Giant. Bayless and Anderson come in their nickel. 2nd and 10. Smith has 5, has 7 before Mark Collins can make the tackle. William White assisting. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Just take a look at the hole. This is a little bit of a delay to Emmitt Smith, but the hole is right there. I mean, here's a guy that Nate Newton told us. He says, this guy runs the daylight. You give him a hole, there's the hole. You get upfield, you can't get back to him.
Emmitt Smith looking for a possible 2,000-yard season. It's within his grasp. He'll have to have a sensational finish, and he'll probably set the record for most touchdowns in a year. 24, John Riggins is the current mark. He has 20 already. Kendall Watkins, a second tight end a rookie from Mississippi State. 3rd and 3. Aikman's first throw, complete to Novacek. First down at the 43. Simeon and Collins on the hit.
Good job by Troy Aikman right there, finding a little soft spot in the zone. Jay Novacek, watch him right here. He's going to go down and hook up right here. The fullback in the flat makes the defense pick a receiver. You see right there, Troy Aikman, good timing, puts it right where Jay Novacek can catch it and can't be knocked away.
No one in the 90s tight ends caught more than Novacek. He has 51 already this year. On first down, fake to Smith. Aikman eludes the rush. And Michael Irvin has his first catch and a first down at the Kansas City 43.
Now, Phil, I'm seeing something a little bit different that I didn't think I would see in this ball game. I'm seeing both corners, Phil, playing man-to-man. That time, James Hasty.
Well, that's something they wanted to do. They wanted to come out here today and play Michael Irvin one-on-one. James Hasty right there had him one-on-one, and Michael did a good job of driving him off and doing that comeback, something the Cowboys are famous for. As you can see, James Hasty trying to jam Michael Irvin at the line of scrimmage, lost sight of where he was. That's why he was so wide open.
14 yards on the play. Aikman again to throw. He's going long, has a man open, and knocked away Dale Carter from Michael Irvin.
Well, there's your one-on-one coverage again. Now, when you take a look at Carter playing Michael Irvin, you talk about closing. The ball had a little bit too much air and enabled Carter to get there. The ball actually hits Michael Irvin in the chest, but Carter had his hand up, did a great job.
Well, something the Cowboys said they wanted to do today is come out and throw the ball deep early. Right there, you see a little stutter go by Michael Irvin. He gets away from Dale Carter, but Dale Carter, like you said, Paul, has great speed, makes it up.
Carter leads the Chiefs 4 interceptions this year, made the Pro Bowl last year from Tennessee. 2nd and 10 to Smith. Nothing inside, so he goes outside, cut down just as he was picking up steam at the 38-yard line. Dale Carter made the stop. Emmitt Smith, he is credited the fact that he takes 2 full body massages a week for his being healthier at this stage of the year than past seasons.
Well, that would make me feel good to get a couple body massages every week, but that is one of the keys, and he's kind of learned that, I think, over the years. Take better care of yourself during the week so you can avoid those little injuries.
Thurman Thomas, he said, if you're listening, get 2 full body massages a week and you'll feel a lot better.
Third and a long 4 with Novacek in motion. Underneath. Michael Irvin, first down, as he eludes the hit from Derek Thomas, steps out at the 29.
Now, Phil, I'm going to tell you something. I don't care you can say about it what great receivers and all the stuff that is happening, but when you are Troy Aikman and you have this much time, and look how long it takes to run this play.
Well, that's right. Time is always an important aspect of the passing game, but something new the Cowboys are doing, still on a page from the 49ers, Michael Irvin running those short routes across the middle, letting everybody else clear it out, Troy Aikman getting the ball to him.
And Irvin's been in a funk, as described by the people here in Dallas, ever since that 49er loss in Dallas. He wouldn't even talk to us. That's unusual. Emmett Smith dragged down by Thomas on first down at the 27, a yard, maybe 2 on the play.
Well, something the Kansas City Chiefs defense was telling us and the coaches, they had to keep the Cowboys out of 3rd and 3 and 4. That's where they're their best. And right here you see Derek Thomas coming up, trying to make the play. Does a good job and keeps Emmett Smith from getting outside.
Thomas, who's made his reputation as a great pass rusher, has 7 sacks again this year, but doing more tackling. He's had more tackles this year than in many seasons past, being employed as the complete linebacker. All 3 first downs by pass for Aikman on this opening drive. Underneath Irvin, hit immediately by Carter at the 21, where it'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Well, something interesting we're seeing so far. Michael Irvin right now, every time Troy Aikman drops back to pass, he looked at Jay Novacek one time, but Michael Irvin is always the primary receiver in their passing game. We watched them practice Friday and yesterday, and I made the comment to Dick and Paul. He threw about 20 passes, and 18 of them were to Michael Irvin.
10th play of the drive as Irvin is out. Watkins replaces him. He weighs 300 pounds, a tight end, number 83. The 10th play of the drive, and Emmett Smith easily picking up the first down inside the 15. And that young Watkins threw the block. And the Cowboys, no one better than Dallas in that red zone inside the 20. 68% touchdowns in 44 trips inside the 20.
Well, when you can run the football like they do, that's one of the reasons why they have great success. And also, they protect the passer, who is a precision thrower, and they have a great receiver, Michael Irvin. That all leads to success.
Opening drive over 6 minutes long, and Emmett Smith and he has a touchdown. Number 21 for Emmett Smith.
You know, the one thing about this guy, I mean, Nate Newton told us, here's a guy that runs the daylight. There are a lot of guys in the league that run the darkness, and I'll explain about the darkness.
Try for point by Chris Boniol out of Novacek's hold, and the Cowboys in 6 minutes and 19 seconds go 70 yards on the opening drive of the game. 11 plays, 15-yard touchdown for the incomparable Emmett Smith. At age 26, this man already with 92 NFL rushing touchdowns.
They always do that? Nah, they usually go for 2.
We talked in our opening tease about the talented triumvirate here in Dallas. Well, on that opening drive, Aikman 4 for 5. Emmett rushed for 35 yards and a touchdown. Urban 3 catches, 29 yards. And Emmitt Smith puts all of those touchdown balls, as you know, in storage, and now has 96 in 6 seasons, less than 6 full. Boniold kick it off, 7-0 Dallas, and he roots a deep spinner to Marek Vanover, the rookie from Florida State, who has been outstanding, takes the hit and falls forward at the 32-yard line. A little extracurricular, but it'll be Kansas City at its 32. The Chiefs' first chance when we return. Yeah, from the Michigan apple farms down to the Lone Star State. Their national sport, football. 7-0 Dallas on Emmitt Smith's 15-yard run to cap the opening drive. And now Steve Bono and the Kansas City Chiefs take their turn. Hands it off inside to Kimball Anders, and the fullback who played at Houston, hit by Tolbert in Maryland after a gain of 2. Alt, Zott, Gronard, Shields, and Sigler, the starting offensive line for Kansas City. Bono having an outstanding season, and man on his way to Canton, Marcus Allen. Kimball Anders is their top pass catcher. Dawson and Davis outside. Keith Cash, the tight end. And in the 3-wide, veteran Webster Slaughter comes in. Bono's first pass, and he's going to go long for Willie Davis. Incomplete, and it's Deion Sanders pulling up with a bit of a limp as he slows down, but he points to the crowd and says, hey, they can't get over the top of me.
Well, Deion Sanders to the right side of the field, one-on-one. The rest of the defense is on the other side. You see him there with Willie Davis, and something Deion does very well. When the ball is thrown, he attacks it.
Yeah, but watch him at the end of it. He limps just a little bit. That leg is not full speed, but I don't know if he really has to be full speed to be faster than anybody else out here.
Everyone around the league, coaches and players say the fastest man they've ever seen in a football uniform. 3rd down and 8. Bono to the flat, to the tight end, Cash. He's corralled by 4 Cowboys, short of the first down. A gain of only 3. The defense for Dallas. Tolbert, he's one of the many on that hurt list. Maryland, Hennings, you know, Leon Letts on suspension, and Charles Haley second in the league with 10.5 sacks. Edwards, Miles for the injured Robert Jones at middle linebacker, and Smith. Sanders and Brown at the corners. Marion and Woodson at safety. Woodson leads in tackles, and in the nickel Bates, Scott Case, Bates, and Bailey come in. Robert Jones watching from the sidelines as 3 and out, and Louis Aguiar sends a very high kick to Williams. Doesn't call for a catch, and able to pick up 5 yards on the return to the 25, a 41-yard punt. Midway through the opening quarter, 7-0 Dallas.
So what's it going to be, Deion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Both.
Offense or defense?
Both.
Both?
Both.
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 Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both. Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our Lovers Line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Deion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both. You'll love the stuff we're making.
Emmitt Smith, who has more touchdowns himself than any team has rushing this year. 21 for Emmitt. Look at Deion Sanders and the high thigh bandage. He has a groin injury. And earlier today in a scoring fest in Pontiac, Detroit prevails over Minnesota 44-38. Scott Mitchell threw for 410 yards. Aikman underneath Johnson. Is down. It appeared that Kevin Williams on the right side might have been off early. So the Moose, a short gain, and he treasures every chance he gets to handle the ball. He's carried only 19 times and caught only 20. Terry Austin signals illegal motion against Dallas. Johnson, who is one favor throughout the country, even gets fan mail from Saudi Arabia. So his mother is doing a quarterly newsletter. The Moose Call goes out around the nation, and he's quite a guy. As you look at Jay Novacek, who compliments this wonderful offensive attack. It's just Jimmy Johnson once put it, how do you want to die, slow or fast?
Pick your poison. That's what he says.
First and 15, Emmett Smith. They stretch him wide, and that's the attitude the defenses need to deny Smith. He wants to go north and south. Anytime you get him running toward the sidelines, it's in your favor, and Thomas makes the hit.
Well, Derek Thomas, one of the faster linebackers, and watch him. He's just following down the line of scrimmage. Nobody blocks him, and he gets to Emmett and pushes him out of bounds. That's just great hustle and speed.
6 years in the league, 6 times to the Pro Bowl. Derek Thomas, who was an early pick in the '89 draft out of Alabama, and Vaughn Booker comes in for Kansas City. Second down, 16. Emmett with a yard loss on the last play. And that'll be good enough for a first down at the 36-yard line. James Hasty, the defender.
Just a good job by Troy Aikman, really anticipating the throw and knowing, reading the coverage, seeing Michael Irvin has that one-on-one coverage. Watch Troy Aikman as he hits that last step, sits and throws it right into a little hole. Michael Irvin driving, James Hasty not close enough to break it up.
Michael Irvin coming off with Hasty. He just pushes him aside, goes back to the inside, and he is wide open. No safety help.
4 catches for Irvin today. That leaves him only 3 from 500 career. Emmett with a flag down, vaults across the 40-yard line. Anthony Davis seeing more and more playing time. Marty Schottenheimer very excited about Davis out of Utah. Made the tackle.
Well, I'll tell you what, Davis gets up and helps out on the tackle, but Moose Johnson, I mean, he put him on the ground, and Davis got back up.
Going to pick the flag up. The hand was inside the body and not outside. Therefore, second down.
Oops, Ray Donaldson, the 16-year veteran center for the Cowboys, limps off. Tell you how many years that he's been in the league. In '80 as a rookie with the Colts, his quarterbacks were Burt Jones and Greg Landry.
And only played in 1 playoff game in his whole career. So he's excited about being down here and playing with this football team and this offense, knowing he has a chance to go to the playoffs and have success. 227
games for Donaldson. Another pretty good center came out of that '80 draft named Dwight Stevenson. No, he's watching today. Aikman underneath. Novacek incomplete. Coverage by Mark Collins. So look at the ankle of Donaldson.
You know, Dick, one of the things when you see Donaldson going off, and here comes a blitz up the middle at Troy Aikman, they try to get to him with a blitz, and they just don't do that. Look at here. Davis comes up inside. They knock him off. Nate Newton knocks him off. Sally Mua can't get there, and the ball gets out in a hurry. But they listed 22 guys on the injured list back to the National Football League. Not major injuries, but things that can pop up, and then they lose their center on top of it.
Derek Kennard, who weighs only 333 pounds, replaces the 300-pound Donaldson. Whoops. Sally Mua trying to guess the snap count, and he was well in advance of the snap. Well, we talked about Nate Newton, a 10-year veteran from Florida A&M, wasn't drafted out of college, a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's the spirit of that offensive line. And we were talking to him about Thanksgiving, and he had a surprising, his main entree is not turkey. He didn't want turkey today.
You ready?
Yeah.
We should give this to you as a quiz, but we're gonna save the suspense. How about goat? He loves goat. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good goat now. Yeah. He had goat. His mom had it. Everybody at the table, ladies, I'm not eating goat. And then there was just a little bit left in the bowl. Dave said, well, maybe I'll try it. Then he ate everything that was in the bowl and had his mother cut some more off the goat.
Well, I got a feeling Nate Newton's not seen a lot of foods that he didn't like. So.
He said the only problem was the next morning he had this urge to go out and graze on the front lawn.
What did he say? Woke up with the sheets in his mouth?
He's up. On first down, Emmett tripped up in the backfield. Might have fallen over his own man. 2-8.
Picked up maybe a yard.
You're absolutely right. He tripped over his own man coming out of the backfield, and that was 2-8, and he caught his leg. I guess that's the best way to tackle him. Use, their own people to knock down Emmett.
One thing we saw, or the Kansas City coaches told us before the game, they thought their front 7 could maybe stop this Dallas running game. So far, they have not done that. And if they bring a safety up, look for Troy Aikman to go deep.
2nd and 9. The blitz. Aikman reads it. Throws to Irvin. First down at the Kansas City 42.
That excellent job by the Dallas offense, just picking up the blitz, giving Troy Aikman an extra time, one-on-one coverage outside. Look right here. Watch the Dallas offensive line. You see the linebackers coming. Look at all the linemen stay in their lanes. Emmitt Smith doing a good job picking up the blitzing linebacker. And now here, James Hasty one-on-one with Michael, trying to be physical with him. But look at the timing. As soon as he turns out, Troy Aikman has the ball right there. You can't stop that kind of execution.
Well, what a 1-2 punch. Smith has 40 yards rushing. That's already 57 yards receiving for Michael Irvin on 5 catches, and Aikman right on the money. Back he goes to the air. Dumps it to Emmett. He throws George Jamison, and Mark Collins came up from safety to knock him out of bounds, and Emmett held his shoulder for a moment, but he's okay apparently.
This is unfair to have Emmitt Smith come out into the flat on George Jamison, the linebacker, and expect the linebacker to make this play. Watch Emmitt Smith. Here's the move. One inside, back outside. See you, George. Then Collins comes in and makes a play. Emmett does land on his elbow more than his shoulder, and it looked like, thank God, he had a pad on there.
And Vaughn Booker put a hit on Aikman as he delivered. Aikman is 7 for 9. Emmitt Smith, and he battles his way. Looks to be good enough for a first down at the 31-yard line before Dale Carter can make the stop.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs right there maybe expect and run, but what they're doing now, they're starting to walk up that extra guy in there, trying to stop the Cowboys from having success.
Ray Donaldson will go back for x-rays on that right ankle. Barry Switzer, a 58-year-old head man here in Dallas. He's used to working on Thanksgiving Day. Of course, at Oklahoma, many Thanksgivings involved with the Oklahoma-Nebraska battles. Before the snap, Kendall Watkins, number 83, appeared early in his movement.
Well, Dick, Phil found out earlier that, the corners.
Before the snap, ball start. Number 84 of the offense, 5 yards. It's still first down.
Hasty and Carter went to Marty. They wanted to double up on these guys on the outside. He says, that's a personal affront to us. I mean, that's an embarrassment. And they said, wait a minute, Phil, what?
Yeah, that's right.
Want to cover man-to-man?
Yeah, Dale Carter and James Hasty said, we can cover these receivers, and Michael Irvin one-on-one, we can be physical. You don't have to double them. And he said, that you're taking away our courage and whatever. So they come out here, they're not having success, Paul, covering Michael Irvin one-on-one.
I would now ask for some help.
First and 15. Nearing the end of the opening quarter, it's Novacek with a catch. George Jamison, the linebacker, on him at the 30-yard line. That'll bring up second and almost 10.
With all of this stuff all said and done, and we got a minute and 37 left to go in this first quarter, the most important thing that is not happening, you're not getting into Troy Aikman's face. And if this guy is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and you let him sit back there and throw to whomever he would like to, you don't have a chance of winning this football game.
2 impressive drives. The first led to a 70-yard drive to touchdown. Smith 15 with a payoff. Emmitt Smith changes directions, but right into some red shirts. Darren Mickle, 92, had invaded the backfield of the Cowboys.
And Keith Traylor. Keith Traylor, 94, was the guy that really makes the play first. And these two guys, Mickle and Traylor. And that was the thing about the 46, Dick. They enables this team to bring in some fresh people.
Well, they're third and long for Aikman, Phil.
Well, that's something this Kansas City defense wanted to get Aikman and the Cowboys in. 3rd and 10 plus. Hard to do when you got a running back like Emmitt Smith, but I expect them to play it safe, make him catch it underneath.
A pump and go. Irvin, touchdown! What a catch! Irving loves Irvin. The coverage appeared to be as good as you could ask of an NFL corner.
Well, the guy I thought that was going to get there was Collins. I thought Mark Collins, number 25, had an opportunity to get into that corner and break up the play because it was obvious he read it.
But what stopped him, though, Paul, was the fact that Troy Aikman made that fake pump. It made Mark Collins stop. That's why there was single coverage outside.
Boniol with the extra point, 14-0. Michael Irvin, 6 catches, 90 yards in this opening quarter.
Michael Irvin using that left hand to keep the defender away. Gets his right hand on it. What a catch.
You're watching the NFL on NBC. A day for giving and to be thankful. And Michael Irvin offered his touchdown ball to his sister Lisa after the play. Show you that after Boniol kicks it off to Tamarick Vanover. 14-0 Cowboys. 2 very impressive 11-play drives. Vanover right up the middle. And a man who can run that fast and weigh 210 pounds out to the 34-yard line. Here is an extraordinary catch.
Well, look at Dale Carter trying to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage, but he's expecting help deep. The pump fake by Troy Aikman lets him be single coverage. What a catch by Michael Irvin.
Open the second quarter, 14-0 Dallas. He's caught 499 and not many any better than that one. Michael Irvin, the all-time record holder in catches and yards, and that's his sister Lisa from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
I tell you, it's rare that you get 9 catches in the first quarter and a kiss, you know.
He's working on a 36-catch game. Bono under a blitz gets it off. And Leroy Thompson able to move to the 45 and down at the 45. Play dead there, and the first down, and Bono took quite a hit. Darren Smith was in on him.
Well, Kansas City guesses right here. They got a screen play against the blitz. Nobody's blocking. Darren Woodson coming in from Bono's left. He just has time to get it off, but look at the speed of the Cowboy defensive lineman getting down the field and making the play.
Tony Talbert is a lineman that gets downfield and makes a play, but that Thompson was down on the ground. That's a good call.
On the 45-yard line, Marcus Allen, his first carry. And he drives into Dallas territory, a pickup of 6 before Dixon Edwards can make the stop. Surprisingly, when we talked with Marcus in his 14 years in the league, never played on Thanksgiving. He said, I don't recall ever having a chance to play on Turkey Day. 577 yards to lead Kansas City, and of course moving up the ladder of all-time touchdowns. 124 total touchdowns for Marcus. Caught in the backfield and a loss of a yard as Maryland and Hennings, the 2 tackles, able to knife through. Well, let's take a look at Allen on the elite list of touchdown makers in NFL history. Jerry Rice continues to forge ahead. Great Jim Brown and Walter Payton, and now Marcus Allen just a couple away from moving into the second spot. You understand, Ray Donaldson fractured ankle, and Donaldson obviously will not return. 3rd down and 5. Bono long for Lake Dawson and covered by Deion Sanders. And the Chiefs have to punt again.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs told us that they were not going to shy away from throwing a ball against Deion Sanders. Lake Dawson, single coverage, tries to give him a move, but does not fool him. And there you can see Deion Sanders. No matter if you do fool him, he still has the speed to make it up and stay with you.
I'll tell you one other thing. You better not throw that baby inside on him, because if you throw it inside on the playing field, he's got it. And that he is Deion.
Aguiar to punt to Kevin Williams. High spinner that Williams calls for the fair catch at the Dallas 15-yard line. Timeout. 12:52 remaining in the opening half. Well, look, a view through the hole in the roof here at Texas Stadium in Irving. The MetLife blimp Snoopy 1 cruising the skies above Texas Stadium contains 70,000 cubic feet of helium, more than Paul McGuire. Measures almost 50 yards in length from nose to tail. MetLife blimp crew wishes everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. You especially, Paul.
Thank you so much.
I'm trying to say you're full of gas.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Back goes Aikman. And it's Irving's 500th career catch. He's out to the 21-yard line. He earlier this season passed Drew Pearson, who had 489. In fact, that was last week. And he moved ahead of Tony Hill's all-time yardage. He's out about 8,200 yards receiving and just 29 years old. I'm going to tell you, he's been here forever.
Dick, the way these guys are breaking records and putting balls away, they're not going to have enough balls to finish the season. You only buy so many, don't you, at the beginning?
Urban unhappy that his streak of 100-yard games was broken in San Francisco, and he's going to try to get 100 in the first half. Emmett runs into a wall. Joe Phillips could well be described as that at about 3:10 going on 3:30.
That was a good illustration right there of this new Kansas City defense, how they like to penetrate and hit the cracks of the offensive line. Right there you see Tracy Simeon, 54, the middle linebacker, doing a good job of holding up Moose Johnston in the hole and keeping Emmitt Smith in the backfield so the defensive lineman can make the tackle.
Simeon again the leading tackler for the Chiefs, as he has been the last 3 seasons. Sherman Williams comes in for the Cowboys, replacing Emmitt Smith, the number 2 pick out of Alabama. Well, there's no whistle, and it's intercepted by James Hasty. Flags are down, and Hasty, the former New York Jet, out of bounds at the Dallas 23-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, if they didn't blow a whistle, they should have, because they almost got Troy Aikman killed.
Jerry Austin, our referee.
Yeah, we knew that, but you know,
Offside, number 50 of the defense, 5 yards, first down.
excuse me, when you run unimpeded to the quarterback, you blow a whistle. And you got 7 of them out there. One of them's got to work. Take a look at this, and these guys are coming, and when they get through, look at it, he's already through. Now you're on your way to the quarterback. You got to blow a whistle.
Yeah, but the good thing is Davis pulled up a little on Troy Aikman, but you're right. They do not hear the whistle. They should keep going to the quarterback.
That's a free play for the quarterback. That's a free play for the Cowboys there, and the Chiefs basically pulled up except for Hasty. Well, first down and 10 at the 25. To Novacek. Able to handle a good hit from Mark Collins and hold on. A gain of nearly 9.
You know what I like about this play? What they did is Moose Johnston, they put him number 48 as the tight end on the line of scrimmage. And then they bring Novacek. There he is. And then they bring Novacek in motion. New little wrinkle.
Well, yeah, it is a good wrinkle. And you see the Cowboys do that a lot because they do not want a defender to get in Jay Novacek's way at the line of scrimmage and hold him up. So they move him around, switch these players in positions so you can get success like that.
Very productive player, Jay Novacek. To the 40 and has a first down. Darrell Johnston. Such a sensational blocker, and so anytime he carries, he is here's that chorus of Moose.
As Moose would say right there, they're throwing me my 1 or 2 bones for the game right there. I get to run a few times and catch a couple passes, but mainly he's out there to be the lead blocker for Emmitt Smith.
Wouldn't you love to be able to run behind this offensive line? They're as big as this whole building right here. They take up enough room.
Johnson, who's made the Pro Bowl because of his blocking talent, never missed a game since his sophomore year at Syracuse.
A nice play by the defense, but this is a huge offensive line, Dick.
Simeon and Jamison make the tackle for no gain. Look at the size of the line. Now, that is an underestimate, too, at 320. What do you think, Phil? What do you think?
I really honestly would guess about 335 would be the average, because we were at practice a couple days, and Dick, how many times did you say, wow, how big is, look at the size of this guy right here, and Eric Williams alone, and Nate Newton and Larry Allen. These are big men.
And then you put in Kennard for Donaldson.
Yeah, so the average goes up. Kennard, they say 330, but that is when he's in really good shape.
That's the Cowboys. Aikman dumps it off down it. Simeon misses. So does Hasty. And Aikman is close to a first down at the 49.
I'm telling you, it is not fair. This play should be outlawed. Where you put Emmitt Smith on a linebacker after it's just a dump pass. Troy Aikman is trying to get the ball downfield. No place to go. Good defensive secondary coverage. And look at Emmitt. Here comes Simeon. Goodbye, Simeon. And here comes Hasty. Goodbye, Hasty. First, I almost got the first. That'll be third and about a half yard.
Well, the defense does a wonderful job of covering everybody down the field. Troy Aikman, excellent. Blaze it off to his outlet receiver, and Emmett makes those tacklers miss.
They're already yelling moose. They want Johnson. He gets it. And he's toppled as he crosses the 50. That'll be a first down. Boy, he's had a busy half. He's carried 3 times.
You know, the one thing about Nate Newton, though, talking to him the other day, and he's such a joy to be around. But old Nate looked at you, Phil, and he said, you know, and he points to his stomach, if I can only get rid of that. You see that thing there on 61? He said, so Phil said, how about liposuction? You know what you'd have to bring in here? One of those things that take the stuff out of a sewer. I mean, this guy is so huge. Look at him. I love him, man. He is one of the funniest men I've ever talked to.
There's a lot of heart in there, too.
Oh, you bet.
On first down from the 49. Davis with a sack of Aikman. Anthony Davis, his first of the year.
Described or disguised very well, Phil.
That's the whole key to it. Watch the defensive line go down inside, and you'll see Anthony Davis come around to the outside. His speed is what makes that play right there work. Larry Williams is not able, Eric Williams, I should say, is not able to get outside and pick him up because of that speed.
That's only the 8th hot time all year. 8 times that Aikman has been sacked. You see that now 8. The total sacks are 12 because Wade Wilson has been sacked 4 times. Bears protecting Eric Kramer well all year. Screen it. Oh, it did not fool Neil Smith, who nails Emmitt Smith at the 37.
And Anthony Davis again in on the screen. Boy, was that thing played beautifully by Neil Smith. He played it at the line of scrimmage. I would imagine that he has the coverage right here. Here's Neil Smith here. When you watch what he does, he just sits in the line of scrimmage. Now, look, and I got to believe that he has screen responsibility. He steps up, Aikman gets the ball off, and boom, they make the play. That's nice.
Neil Smith from New Orleans, Louisiana. 3rd and 23. Throws as he's hit, and there's no one downfield. Kevin Williams was the closest Cowboy, and for the first time, Dallas has to punt. Dallas punts fewer times than anyone, and this may be part of the story today, although James Jett does come in.
All right, here's Neil Smith again on that screen. Now watch, that's his responsibility. He sees Novacek standing there, then he reads screen, gets up in there along with Davis, and they make the play. That's just good hustle by the defense. Something they needed, down 14-0.
Jett had back spasms in practice, and they were worried he wouldn't be able to punt. Let's see how he does here. Oops, slaps it off the side of his foot, but it takes a good Dallas bounce to Vanover. Turns the corner and is hit hard out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 40 on the punt, 12 on the return for a very exciting young player, Tomerick Vanover from Florida State.
T-Mark.
Giving it his all, and Davis takes him out of bounds. Schottenheimer into the classroom with his defensive lineman, down 14-0. Dallas leads with 6:21 left in this opening half. Chiefs, after the kick return, punt return, start at their 34. Bono inside handoff, and it's Kimball Landers stuffed by Godfrey Miles. Miles playing for Robert Jones at middle linebacker. Jones with a groin injury and an inner ear affection. Some real bad dizzy spells. There's Miles, Florida graduate. Look at the total yards. 20 is all for Kansas City. 1 first down. There's Robert Jones. Bono. Off play action. Guns complete at the 48-yard line. as Tomeric Vanover makes a nice stab. A 14-yard gain in front of Larry Brown.
Was a good job by here of Steve Bono finding the open man. It's a blitz again by the Cowboys. And what they're doing, they're coming up and pressing these receivers because they don't think they can run away from the defenders. And right there, good job by Vanover getting in front of Larry Brown and making the catch.
Tomeric Vanover with his 6th catch. He's going to be a force for these Chiefs. He already is in special teams. Charles Haley off the mark as flags fly. And Greg Hill with about 5, but would appear that it was Haley guilty of the offsides.
You know,
it is.
It is. And one of the things that happens when you're offside, and Charles should know a little bit better than this, when you go offside, keep on going. Don't stop. Because he could have gotten back to the ball carrier, blown the whistle, and they wouldn't have been able to pick up the yardage that they did. Now, they're going to take the penalty anyway, but they could have broken the play for a long gain. So, Charles Haley, when you go across, keep on going.
Right, make them stop the play. That's a good job of the Kansas City offense. Even though you know they're offsides, go ahead and run the play like you said, Paul, and try to make a big play.
As Andrews goes in motion over the middle, complete to the tight end, Keith Cash. First down at the 36-yard line. Darren Woodson, who leads the Cowboys in tackles, has another.
This is the one thing I think Kansas City really wanted to do, Phil, is to throw some underneath stuff, some 5-yard junk.
And that's what they did right there. It was really like a page out of the 49ers offense, something that Kansas City likes to do, run that short passing game. Nobody in the backfield, spread the defense out and throw underneath it.
Lake Dawson to the right, Vanover left. Greg Hill, who's a Dallas high school product and has a sizable gain to the 31. He thought he had more. Chad Hennings perhaps tripped him up.
If Hennings doesn't grab him by the leg, and here Hennings, he's short coming up. But watch this, 95, Chad Hennings, he reaches out right here and grabs that leg and gets back onto his heel. Otherwise, Hill might have been gone. Here's another injury.
So Hennings at a position that's already thin with Leon Lett suspended. And Tony Tolbert has been limping. On 2nd and 3. Bono trying to hit Greg Hill, incomplete. Tony Tolbert messed up the play as he was in Bono's face.
Yeah, but there was supposed to be a fake here, the Kimball Anders. And what happened that time, Anders ran so far inside that Bono couldn't make the fake, so he didn't fool anybody on the play. This thing has to be a play-action pass. Watch Bono. Watch when he stretches here at Kimball Anders. He's not even close to the ball. From that angle, it's very hard to see. But now, with defenders in his face, now it's hard to throw the ball over to a shorter man, Hill.
3rd and 3. Hill battling to the 26-yard line. First down, it would appear. Darren Smith and Brock Marion ride him down. This young Hill is really, it's a big day for him. He's born and raised in Dallas.
Well, one thing Greg Hill brings to this lineup is a little more speed, and right now, that's what this Kansas City offense needs, is some speed, because Dallas is up there challenging them. And the other thing, Tomeric Vanover coming in at the wide receiver spot, if you keep playing him man coverage, they're going to go deep to him.
How about a little more strength, too? He took a couple of people to get that first down.
Four in the pattern, sidesteps the rush, and there's Godfrey Miles to bat it away from Derek Walker.
Boy, Bono's got, I mean, it's a lot easier for us to talk about, but Bono's got to look at his backs coming out of the backfield, because that time there, if he throws the ball out to the outside, he may have a play.
Right there's a good illustration.
Dion, and he gets away with that, and he's pointing to the official at the same time, and there's no flag.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs wanted to be physical on Deion Sanders today. They said anytime the ball's not thrown towards his way, they were going to hit him, try to cut him, let him know he's got to stay involved in this game.
Dawson out there on him again. As Bono throws, intercepted, flag down. Larry Brown going through the receiver, Webster Slaughter.
You can complain all you want, Mr. Brown, but I'm going to tell you right now, you can't go through and hit the receiver before the ball gets there. And I don't care if you know, when an official say, well, first down. Yeah, it is. This is an easy call, not only a good call, but an easy call to make.
Well, what makes it so easy? Watch Webster Slaughter right here. He takes off and he gets Larry Brown behind him, and now he has him between him and the ball, and Larry Brown, the only way he can make the play is to go through the receiver.
They got him with the body. A lot of fans didn't see that. The hands were free, but he bumped him with the body. 8-yard penalty. First down inside the 20. Kansas City's best chance to score with 2.5 left in this first half. Bono underneath incomplete. Kimball Landers. Dixon Edwards was there.
You know, sometimes you just wonder about Bono's reads. On this play here, Kimball Landers, I mean, it's obvious he's got a red shirt on, and there's a couple of white shirts right there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They said they were going to attack Deion Sanders today, but in the last couple of plays, he's been out there singled up with the receiver, and he has a chance to throw it, but Steve Bono is coming off and going to the underneath receivers.
Lake Dawson wide right, and Deion has him. Top of your picture. Draw. And Leroy Thompson gets only a couple. Charles Haley and Russell Maryland read it.
Charles Haley does an excellent job of seeing and diagnosing plays right there. Gets around the left tackle off, comes straight down the line of scrimmage, and an excellent play on a draw play.
I don't think John Alt saw him, to be honest with you.
So as the 2-minute warning hits, it's 14-0 Dallas, and it'll be a big third down call for Kansas City. Trailing 14-0 and keeping the high-powered Dallas offense on the bench. The Chiefs, with their longest drive, have it 3rd and 9 at the Cowboys 17. They've consumed almost 4.5 minutes in this possession, but they need points. Scramble, chased by Colbert. Incomplete to Lake Dawson. In front of Scott Case and Deion Sanders, and Dawson unable to pull it in.
Well, Bono first was going to try to throw the ball to Kimball Landers, and then you look out to the outside. This is just excellent coverage.
Well, again, right there, if he would have had time, he might have had a chance to hit Lake Dawson for the first down. But again, the Cowboys overloading the defense and keeping Deion out there on an island, one-on-one.
Lynn Elliott has missed only 3 of 20 all year. This is a 34-yard attempt. Whoa. And it's good. So Elliott puts 3 on Kansas City's side of the board. You're watching the NFL on NBC. And welcome back to Big D from President of NBC Sports, Dick Ebersol, and our executive producer, Tommy Roy. We extend our happiest and healthiest Thanksgiving wishes. Give your folks a big hug today. This is the one. Lynn Elliott gives Kansas City its first points, 14-3, and Dallas, with all its timeouts, with 1:50 to try to add to their lead, 14-3. Kevin Williams. Big hole, one to beat Elliott, and he gets enough of him to bring him down across the 50-yard line, and a flag down. Elliott might have tripped him. Yep, that's what happened. Elliott saved the touchdown. It'll cost them some more yards.
Tripping number 2.
He's got to go in the wrong
number
way.
team of the kicking team. 10 yards from the end of the run.
We had it
First
right,
down.
Dick. They were pointing the wrong way. They were pointing at Dallas.
Well, it is against Dallas.
Well, it's a good job.
Yeah, but if they're all
right
tripping
here.
on right there, it should be margined the other way. They're going back. They've got to go back. They screwed it up twice. First on the call, then they took the ball down. Look at Barry Switzer saying, you know, what do I have to do? Joe Alvizado, who's the special teams coach, said, you know, I'll help you out, boys. Let me show you the direction. This thing goes north and south. We're going north at this time.
They still don't have it right. Now they're finally marching it from the 50.
Foul was kicking by number 2 of the kicking team. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So it's a 43-yard return by Kevin Williams. Elliott will take the 10-yard penalty. It saved a touchdown.
It really did. You know, Elliott just did anything he could possibly do to help get the runner down, and by sticking his leg out, he did save it. You know, they're not in field goal range yet, but they have 3 timeouts, Dallas, with 1:42.
Remember once, I think it was against Green Bay, Don Meredith on the sidelines tried that old tripping penalty to save a touchdown. One of the great Cowboys of yesteryear. Hope he's watching today. First down. Aikman dumps it underneath to Johnston, and Moose gets coupled to the 38. Simeon and Davis collaborate on the tackle. They spot it at the 47. Cowboys have all 3 timeouts and lead 14-3. It's really a critical spot for Kansas City. They don't want to go into the locker room down 21-3. They do get the ball to start the second half. 14 for 17 in this first half. As he throws, and incomplete to Johnston. Neil Smith buries Aikman.
Excellent job of coverage on the outside by James Hasty. Made Troy Aikman hold on to the ball just a little bit longer. Watch right here. He has to hold on to the ball because James Hasty has Michael Irvin smothered, and coming around the corner, Neil Smith gets that extra second and is able to drive Troy Aikman into the turf.
You know, we talked to Troy Aikman, what, yesterday, the day before? I don't know. It's been, we've been out here so long. That he was talking about his back hurts, his groin hurts, his knee hurts, his arm hurts, his arm hurts. And that stuff doesn't help.
It's really affecting his play today, isn't it?
Yeah.
3rd and 7. And he gets it to Smith, incomplete. And again, it was Anthony Davis in on Aikman.
I'll tell you, this Anthony Davis is putting a show on. You know, sometimes when a guy goes down and you have someone that steps up like Anthony Davis, number 50, does, this guy is coming. And you're not going to hold him out. He's blocked at the line of scrimmage. He gets in Troy Aikman's face. That's just excellent play. Mark Collins right there to knock the ball down. But here's the defense. Here he comes. Watch this. He's blocked by Emmett in Troy's face. Nice job.
James Jett had the bad back and did not kick well. And so Chris Boniol will punt here. Just going to try to flop one down at the 10 where Vanover waits. His first NFL punt. Good. Terrific. Takes a Kansas City bounce, and the Chiefs will have it around the 17-yard line when we return.
Dr. Pepper presents
What a play!
Just What the Doctor Ordered.
In Big D, there's bold talk of another trip to the Super Bowl. Stay tuned to see what the Cowboys have been ordering up to outrun the rest of the NFL.
There's no stealing your thunder. Can't be contained. Fill me with wonder. Cool me off like rain. You're the part of me, that's the heart of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me. Oh, yeah.
Emmitt Smith has already smashed the 1,000-yard rushing barrier for the 5th straight year. And he's also on pace to set a season-scoring record.
He's gonna score! Touchdown!
When the Cowboys need rugged running and spectacular touchdowns, Emmitt Smith is just what the doctor ordered.
Ace ran the casino.
I am the boss.
Nicky ran the money.
Trying to make a living, that's all.
It was just too good to last. Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, a Martin Scorsese picture. Casino, rated R. Now playing.
Reminder at halftime, Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. You'll see the highlights of that high-scoring Minnesota-Detroit game earlier. Andre Rison, fans are critical of the Browns in Cleveland, and Rison had a rebuttal for the fans. That'll be part of the chat with our guys, Gumbel, Ditka, and Gibbs back in the studio.
Well, one of the things that Kansas City here, they won't do anything stupid here, you know, and put anything at risk, Phil, because they get the ball back in the second half. They do have 3 timeouts. Derek Thomas hasn't played since, I think, the first or second series of downs. They have 3 timeouts in 52 seconds, but they've got about 84 yards to go.
Good news is they finally held Dallas 3 and out. Only 58 seconds possession for the Cowboys. Haley gets to Bono, and Bono just does unload, incomplete. Haley looking for another sack. He is second in the league with 10.5.
Well, Charles Haley, one thing Kansas City worried about today, can John Alt block Charles Haley one-on-one right there? You saw a good spin move to the inside, gets to the quarterback, makes Bono throw it before he's ready.
Nice tackle by Zott. After Haley got through all, Zott tackled him.
He's tied with Andy Harmon of Philadelphia with Bryce Popp of Green Bay. 14 sacks here at the Thanksgiving break. Across the 20 to the 24. That'll be short of the first down. Timeout called by Bono. It's 14-3. Dallas.
Well, a great Deion Sanders. They said they wanted to take him down if there's a running play. Lake Dawson goes out. Watch this. Here comes a little chicken fighting. This is good. All right, now my turn. Hey, face mask. I mean, I don't understand why that official. First of all, Deion punched him. Now he's got him by the face mask. Throw the flag. That's illegal. I'm sorry, it's illegal. Throw the flag. I don't care who he is.
Third down and 2. And they're matched again. No, Willie Davis on Deion this time. Bono on the roll. It's going to be very close as Bill Bates dumps Danon Hughes.
Now, go ahead.
Deion came over to the Kansas City side and offered some suggestions to Marty Schottenheimer.
And I can guarantee you, I've known Marty for a lawfully long time, that he gave some suggestions back to Deion on where he can go.
It was enough for the first down, but barely at the 26-yard line.
Well, you know, I don't know if I'd be inciting Deion Sanders in these kind of wars right here because, Paul, we watch films. The one thing you have to admit is he is a big-time playmaker on defense when the ball is thrown his way. So this just might make him stay alert and be ready for that ball when it comes toward him.
Throw is deep. Yes. At the 44-yard line by Willie Davis. Larry Brown was going for the interception, bobbled in the air, and Davis steals his first catch today, 18 yards. Look at this.
We've seen some pretty good catches. Well, watch this. Irvin made a good catch. But look at Davis. Well, that's just total concentration. Catches the ball and stays in bounds. Outstanding.
Well, excellent job right there, but I tell you what, it's a bad job by Steve Bono throwing into coverage. He's very lucky that ball was not picked off and gave Dallas more points.
29 seconds left in the half. 14-3 Dallas. Very loose, deep defense for the Cowboys as Bono goes underneath and complete. Probably just as well. By the time the tackle would have been made by Darren Woodson, there'd been very little gain for Danon Hughes.
But 23 seconds, is that still 23? Wasn't it 23 a little while ago? But whatever it is, if you take a look at the defense, where you must throw this ball, if you have that much time with 2 times, look at right in here, Phil. There is nobody back there in the middle. Take that 15 or 20 yards, then you get a chance. Now, look at the middle. It's open. They just didn't get anybody in there.
Bono now 6 for 15 in this first half. He had a tough game against Houston on Sunday night. Underneath to Marcus. Marcus trying to get out of bounds and saves a timeout at the 45 of Dallas. And here they go again. Deion and Lake Dawson.
Lake Dawson went after Deion, and he was the strong safety. Now we've got more people. Davis.
Brock Marion's in there fighting.
Brock Marion's in there with Davis. They got hit. There's a penalty there. This is getting a little out of hand. They got to calm down, these little skinny people. Charles Haley pointing one way.
Here that Tim Grunard was downfield too to help out with the block on Deion.
Well, we saw the Raiders for a couple of games with the old chop block, right, going after the legs, which is totally illegal, so they eliminated that. And now you're seeing one thing that we knew that Kansas City was going to do, go after Deion Sanders and hit him after every play. Now, there's nothing wrong with going on a running play, going downfield and hitting his safety or corner. There's nothing wrong. But don't go at his knees, and don't try to take him out that way. Flags both ways, which I hate.
After this play was over, we have 2 fouls. We have number 84 of the red team striking the defensive player, but then number 31 of the defensive team retaliated. Yeah. The penalties will all set.
Yeah.
Still first down.
Willie Davis and Brock Marion.
Yeah, well, you know, my thing is don't throw it at all. Well, Marion, that's a good left hook. Marion was
good
first.
Right. That's right.
There's good right, good left. But you know what I don't understand, Dick? Why do you want to hit a guy in a face mask and in a helmet that's like a rock? Why don't you hit him in the gut? Hit him in the throat. Hit him somewhere else.
First down at the 45 with 15 seconds left in this first half. Bono, the quick slant to Vanover. And Tamarick Vanover's all the way to the 20-yard line. Kansas City spends the timeout at the 8-second mark. 25 yards, Bono to Vanover.
Excellent job by Steve Bono and Tamarick Vanover getting on the inside. That's where the holes are in this prevent defense. And when you talked about him earlier, once this guy gets his hands on the ball, he can make some plays. He's big and has wonderful speed.
Well, it's so much easier going inside into the middle. Now, when you get in the middle, and Dick, you know, when you talk about this guy earlier, when he gets his hands on the football, I don't care about it, whether punt return, kickoff return, or with the ball in his hand, and here comes Dion. Puts his head down. That's a nice tackle.
Man, that's right.
Well,
he's not getting paid all that money to tackle people, though, so he's out there to cover receivers.
He gets $34,999,000 to cover and $1 to tackle.
Well, that was it then. That was a
gave him that dollar's worth.
Lynn Elliott good on his first try from 34. There are 8 seconds left in the half, and Kansas City has a timeout, but Marty doesn't want to gamble on not able to get the timeout before the half expires.
Excellent job by Kansas City. I really thought they would be conservative and maybe run the clock out, but they took advantage of the timeouts and the prevent defense by the Cowboys and got a chance to kick this field goal.
37 yards. And Elliott, the former Cowboy, is 2 for 2.
Remember what I said, though, when they took the ball 86 yards away, Phil, they weren't going to do anything that's going to get him in trouble. They almost did, though. The pass that Bono threw to the outside to Davis should not have been thrown, but they got away with it. But that was the only play that they threw in that drive that was risky at all.
That's right. And that's what you should do in those situations, Paul. And we've set up here, and we've just seen the momentum of this game really shift. Kansas City's got the kind of pace that they want, a slower pace game, keeping the Cowboys from making those big plays on offense and defense.
And Kansas City, Dick, second half, they are a very, very good defensive football team in the second half.
And we'll get the ball to start the second half on the kickoff. So they've cut the Dallas lead to 8 points as Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and company. Not much work here in the second quarter. Well, that gives us a chance to remind you, Saturday, NBC's Thanksgiving holiday extravaganza continues with Dennis the Menace. Great falls, great laughs, great family entertainment. NBC, Saturday at 8/7 Central, the network television premiere of Dennis the Menace, right here on NBC.
You know, Paul, you could have played that part of Mr. Wilson very well.
I could have played Dennis when I was a kid.
You look like Mr. Wilson, in fact, don't you?
Why don't you guys take a break? This is Thanksgiving, boys.
The kick comes down to Williams at the 19. And he is to the 39, and tackled there as the first half comes to an end. So 2 early impressive drives by the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith scored on a 15-yard run, then a 33-yard touchdown pass. Aikman to Irvin, and 2 field goals in the second quarter, the answer for Kansas City. We'll be sending you to our NFL on NBC studio in New York after a message from the National Football League and a word from your local station.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Once again, a happy Thanksgiving to you all. Welcome back to our studios here in New York. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Mike Ditka and Joe Gibbs. A game that has turned around a little bit toward the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe, you made the observation in the first half that maybe you thought they were a little bit too aggressive, but that aggressiveness beginning to pay off for the Chiefs.
Well, that's their thing, Kansas City. And on defense, I'd stay with it. Right now, they're going after him, playing aggressive, and I think the key is they're starting to hit Troy Aikman. They're starting to get in there, and it also, when you dog like that and blitz and play aggressive, it helps you on the run because they're running into Emmitt Smith every now and then.
Chiefs look better to you as the half progressed, Mike?
Greg, it started out like a complete mismatch. I mean, there were 2 big plays. Aikman to Michael Irvin, and then you had the great run by Emmett. Now what they've done, they started taking some of that away. The other thing is Kansas City has been a second-half team. They've only given up 7 points in the last 4 games they've played, so in the second half, that is. So, you know, this team, this could be a heck of a football game, but I still think the key is they got to make something happen with their offense, and they're doing that now.
All right, gentlemen, 14-6 at the break. Let's turn our attention to the early game in the NFL today. Minnesota at Detroit. The Lions won a shootout today, 44-38. Barry Sanders, 10 rushes in the first half, 1 yard total. Both teams combined for a total of 1 net yard rushing in the half. Vikes came back from a 2-touchdown deficit with touchdowns on special teams. Ron Rivers fumbles the kickoff return. Orlando Thomas scoops it up, returns it, game tied at 21. Warren Moon, a pair of TD passes in the first half just before the break to Chris Carter, 10-yard touchdown, 28-24 Vikes. Scott Mitchell completed 30 of 45 for a team record 410 yards. He threw 4 touchdown passes, including that one to Herman Moore, 34-31 Detroit. And then Barry Sanders, who put up some nice numbers in the second half, 50-yard touchdown. He had 138 yards rushing on 24 carries. The Lions led 41-31. They went on to win it by a score of 44. To look forward to the second half. Chiefs and the Cowboys. Dallas leads at 14-6. We send you back to Dick Enberg, Paul McGuire, and Phil Simms.
Thank you, Greg. Back at Texas Stadium in Irving, 14-6 Cowboys. Remember, these Chiefs have won 4 games this year on their last touch of the ball. It's a team that has really created some highly dramatic finishes, and a team that has been very tough to score against in the second half.
One thing about the Chiefs that I like is they find a way to win, Phil.
Well, they're going to have to find a way today, Paul. The one good thing I think they've done, they stopped the momentum the Dallas offense had. They turned it around. Let's see if they can keep it going on their offense.
Hanover, who had the big catch at the end of the half to set up the second field goal, is out to about the 32 before he is pushed back. Let's take a look at the Coors Light halftime statistics. And Dallas ran off. You'll recall the first 2 drives just dominated the numbers, and then Kansas City has pulled 120 total yards, 50 less than the Cowboys.
Well, the one thing that impresses me, the Kansas City defense seemed to catch in rhythm with the Cowboy offense. Not only the players, but the coaches calling the right defense to stop some of the plays. It'd be good to see if they can continue that in the second half.
Steve Ono starts from the 33. Marcus Allen able to get back to the line of scrimmage as Chad Hennings was in the backfield of the Chiefs. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
Thank you, Dick. I talked to Marty Schottenheimer at the half. He says they must be much more efficient on offense, that they've got to control the ball, that if they have too many more 3-and-outs, that the defense will be very tired by the fourth quarter. He also said that he feels that now Steve Bono can get on track and have some confidence with that drive at the end of the first half. Dick?
All right, Jim, thank you. And Marcus is 3 carries for 4 yards. Greg Hill, 2 carries for 11 yards. This is the 5th best rushing team in the league. They've been shut down on the run. To the sidelines to Webster, Slaughter, incomplete. Deion Sanders in the coverage.
Well, they finally threw it outside to the one-on-one coverage against Deion Sanders. Steve Bono doing a good job, a little safe, maybe throwing it too far outside, but not able to get control of the ball and get both feet down at the same time. And at the end of that play, you see Deion Sanders clapping his hands because he does not want to give up one completion all day long if he can.
3rd and a long 10. Anders, the fullback, set out to the left side. Backfield vacant behind Bono. Who throws to the deep sidelines, complete to Willie Davis. Covered by Darren Woodson. 17 on the play.
You know, the funny part about it, you hear the people booing, except that everybody on the sidelines really knew it was a good catch. Here it comes to you. Davis up in the air, 2 hands up. Now watch, he's got control. His feet, 1 down. Second one down.
Even though he's being pushed out.
What a great job. And what a job of holding on to the football, because Darren Woodson has already made contact before the ball gets there. Willie Davis showing good hands on that play.
Second catch. He had an 18-yarder the first half. 17 on that one. Dawson in motion. The middle goes Greg Hill for good yardage, and he was a white shirt away from a touchdown. He was Brock Marion saved it.
He was a Dixon Edwards also in there. I think he was coming down on the tackle.
To the 42-yard line. This young man has a lot of family and friends rooting for him. Went to Carter High School here in Dallas. He said, my family knows football. He said, when I was born, they got pictures of me. I'm not even a day old. I already have a Cowboy pennant on my little tray in the hospital. And second and short. Reverse to Vanover. To the 35, a first down.
You know, the one thing about Vanover that I really like, Phil, you look at him on the returns, that pass he caught before the end of the half, the strength of this guy in his upper body. He fears absolutely nothing. He knows how good and how strong he is, and he loves to run through and at people.
He's a rare specimen. He's only 5'10", but 210 pounds. He's built like a small linebacker and yet has the speed, the best speed of the wide receivers for Kansas City.
That's what makes him such a good return man, is that size that he has, able to run through those tackles when they stick out those arms.
Trailing 14-6 at halftime. Kansas City moving with the ball, and it's Greg Hill driving to the 30-yard line, nearly a 5-yard pickup before Russell Maryland and company can make the tackle. And meanwhile, Irvin and Aikman and Smith in the offense for Dallas, they haven't played for a long time.
No, they haven't. But one thing we saw in that last play, Kansas City thought they could come in here and rough up this defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys because it's beat up, and maybe finally the size of that offensive line is starting to wear down the Dallas defensive line a little.
Second and 6. Hill again. Runs into it. Oh, fake to Hill, and the throw almost intercepted by Dion. Oh, he was playing interception all the way. It's as if he's in the huddle and the pass is thrown to him.
You know, it's amazing part, though, Phil. He's got help from Brock Marion. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, I'm wondering why Steve Bono threw this pass. Brock Marion, you're going to see him come into the play, too, right there. He's basically double coverage, and Deion Sanders really should have had the interception right.
You know who went to defense? Davis. Yeah, he knocked the ball away. Watch Davis. He goes to defense.
Bono 9 for 20. 3rd and 6 on this one. Steps up. Incomplete to Lake Dawson. Scott Case, an extra defensive back on the coverage.
Well, you also got a tight end in there, too, that doesn't need to be there. Keith Cash is down the middle of the field. This play just went too long, and they overlapped each other.
That's what happens. And then Scott Case is back there free. Nobody to cover. He's watching Steve Bono all the way. He breaks on the ball as soon as he throws it. And really, Bono is fortunate. It wasn't a good throw. It would have been picked off.
They're going to go for 6. Yes, they are. Marty Schottenheimer, the ball at the 31, forsakes what would be a 48-yard field goal attempt. Here they come. Bono dumps it off. And Andrews gets only a yard. Dallas takes over on downs.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Ford Taurus, a look you've never seen from a name you know well. By Sears, come see the merry side of Sears. By Polaroid, get the surprising Polaroid talking camera this holiday and get instant smiles. And by Visa, official card of the NFL.
3.5 minutes into the second half. Marty Schottenheimer electing not to go for a 48-yard field goal. And the Cowboys stop him on 4th down, take over at the 30. Emmitt Smith, he's eager to go back to work. Hit by William White and others, gains 4.
Well, that last play, when the Chiefs went for it on 4th down, I think we were all up here, and I was very surprised because it was on the 30-yard line. It would have been a 47-yard field goal, puts them within a touchdown if they make it 14-9. But in kicking in this place, really, I've played here many times, it's like kicking in the dome because there is no wind, nothing to stop that football. So really a very surprising call by the Kansas City Chiefs.
4th and 6, he made 1 yard, and Dallas takes over. It's 2nd down and 6. Emmett again with flags down.
Sally and Moore offside.
Hasty finally, with help from Mark Collins, make the tackle, but we'll check the penalty.
Well, it's the difference now. I mean, it's a bad play. Sally Moore going offside, number 97, playing on us. But When Sally Moore goes offside, what he does, he keeps on going. I mean, he makes somebody take him, and he doesn't just go across and stop, so he's still active in the play. This is the point. He's offside. Now watch him. He keeps going. He makes somebody block him. When you do that, Nate Newton blocking him, it enables your players to get to the outside.
After the penalty, 2nd down and 1. Down as Chiefs try to steal the ball. We wondered why we haven't seen Derek Thomas. Groin injury is the report we're receiving now, so probably will not play the rest of this Thanksgiving Day. That's a big loss.
Let's go back to the field goal, which I thought they should have kicked the field goal. I mean, at least make the try for it, because now you score a touchdown, you win. I know that Marty has a lot of confidence in his defense. That he should have. But don't put him in a position. I mean, give him a chance to win the football game. If they kick the field goal, make it. Now they have a chance to win the game.
The former New York Giant putting a good pop on Irvin after a pickup of about 7.
Well, right there, the Kansas City Chiefs had a blitz on, so you had single coverage on the outside. Look right here. You're going to see Anthony Davis come in here, try to create some confusion for the Dallas offensive line, but they do an excellent job. You see Derek Kennard going left. The line picks it up, gives Troy time. Michael Irvin going inside. Mark Collins told us yesterday, anytime he slants and goes inside, it's almost always the slant pattern.
Smith gets the first down close to the 45-yard line, and with those yards, Emmitt Smith is over 1,400 for the season, or he's right at it, and he's the only one who's gone to that height 4 consecutive years. This would be 5 straight years.
Well, Nate Newton told us about this guy here. He said this guy runs to daylight. Now, there's guys that run to darkness.
Yeah.
Guys that run to darkness are guys that run to the back of the offensive lineman, don't look for holes, don't have their eyes open. They don't have the ability. He calls those guys that run to darkness. He says there are only a few guys in the league that really run to daylight.
Actually, it's 1,399. Needs 1 more yard. Aikman underneath. It's Irvin again, and shirt tail tackle by Hasty at the 43.
But talking about Nate Newton, I like what he said. He says, you know, a true lineman, if you're really a true lineman in the NFL, and he made this point when they got behind the 49ers by 14 points, you still should come in and run that football. Keep running it on 1st and 2nd down, and then if you have to throw it, throw it. But don't just start throwing it when you get behind in football games. So Nate loves opening up those holes.
Well, come on. All offensive linemen would rather run block than pass block.
Well, when you weigh 325 pounds, you like that. Not all these guys like to run block.
Yeah, all of them.
Not
every single one of them. 100%.
2nd down and 6. Emmett. There's the 1,400 mark as he goes to the 39. I want to repeat that because it's significant to show how great this 26-year-old back has been. No one in the history of the game had ever rushed 4 consecutive years, 1,400 yards. Emmett did it last year. Now he's done it 5 straight years.
But he's, again, now, as we'll go a little bit further with the offensive line. Now, when you have a guy like Emmett, I want to run block all day long. But they have a load up on that offensive line. We already showed you 320, and you can't imagine what they eat for Turkey Day.
Oh, you better have that oven full. Aikman. Out to Eric Bjornsson, the rookie from Washington. That's only his 5th catch of the year. And Bjornsson out of bounds. Looks to have a first down at the 35. Well, we credit, and it's nice to be able to talk about offensive linemen and Newton and Tuanay and Allen and Eric Williams, Ray Donaldson, replaced by Derek Kennard. Here are some other great teams. The 49ers Super Bowl team, the Hogs of the Redskins in 82, Franco Harris's blockers in 74, Green Bay's for Jim Taylor and Horning and Bart Starr in 66. Look at how the weights have gone up.
Packers 245. Every linebacker in football weighs 245.
Right into the waiting arms of Tracy Simeon at the 33-yard line.
Let's take a look at Nate Newton, the left guard, number 61. Here you see him up top. Now watch him come across. Now for a big man, the one thing he really does and what sets him apart, he has those good feet, was able to come out and pull on some of those trapping plays. Really, the Cowboys don't do a lot of trapping. They like to run straight ahead and use their size.
He has those good feet and that huge rear end. That'll move some people off the line of scrimmage. Now, I look at this. His calves aren't that big now. They're supporting him.
Everything on him is big.
Those arms, though. He's got road burns on his upper arms. Aikman to Novacek. Defender fell, and Novacek, a former decathlete, hurdles his way into the end zone.
Novacek, he's going to be singled up on Tracy Simeon right there. He's being very aggressive. He falls just before you see Novacek make the catch. And look at that. Mark Collins going down for the low tackle to take the big tight end down. And he hurdles right over the top of him for the easy touchdown.
He was the Western Athletic Conference decathlon champion in college at Wyoming, and he showed his track and field skills on that touchdown. 33 yards, and Boniol knocks in the extra point, 21-6. 70 yards, 9 plays, 33 on the touchdown. Aikman to the tight end, Novacek.
Montana, 4 Super Bowl victories. Ditka, 3 rings as player and coach. Gibbs, 3 championships. McDonough has been to every Super Bowl.
I played in one.
I hosted one.
The NFL on NBC, loaded with talent, headed for Super Bowl 30.
It's a sellout of some 65,000 plus. Delighted with a Dallas 70-yard drive in 9 plays. Jay Novacek, who had been shut out for 3 games, gets his first score in 4. Down to Marek Vanover. First tackle every time, doesn't he? Add more. Into the inside, all the way to the 48-yard line. This kid's got to get a lot of votes for the Pro Bowl as a special teamer. He has been sensational. Unfortunately for Kansas City, there is a flag down. Charlie Williams finally made the stop of Vanover after a 43-yard return. Some of it will be taken back.
I'll tell you, he is so strong when he's running with that football. And one
holding number 44 of the receiving team on the return.
Darren Anderson.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
On the left of the screen, there you see the holding right there on the left of the screen. But Vanover, the thing about him, I mean, he loves running, but look at the strength in him, Dick, and he doesn't lose his balance.
Welcome back. The Cowboys leading Kansas City 21-6 here in the third. Here's the touchdown to Novacek.
Well, here's Jay Novacek right here, and George Jamison's covering. Watch when Novacek goes out, and he comes back inside. George Jamison playing the outside route, gets fake, falls down. Now there's only the safety Mark Collins to make the tackle.
Give style points on that hurdle of the tackle for Novacek. After the penalty, Kansas City starting at the 15-yard line, and Chad Hennings makes another defensive play for Dallas.
All right, Dickie, do your track stuff. Here comes Novacek. Do it.
Look at this. Edwin Moses would be proud. Look at that almost perfect form, getting that foot down, swinging that leg through, and on to the next hurdle.
On to the Olympics.
He is such a talented part of this Dallas offense. You know, over 50 catches this year. He's been more productive than any tight end in the decade of the 90s. And second down. Bono with a handoff and very little again. As Kimball Anders hit by Edwards and Smith, the 2 very fast outside linebackers for Dallas, and those linebackers do run well here in the silver and blue.
All right, you've run 2 plays now, running plays to hold the linebackers. It hadn't done a thing. You're not holding anybody, and you're not blocking anybody. Now I think it's time to put the ball up in the air and get down the field.
Slaughter to the left, Brown on him. Dion is to the far side on Dawson. No, it's Smith over there. Underneath and complete. Willie Davis, and a first down as he was able to beat Deion Sanders. 19 yards on the play. Brock Marion finally got him out of bounds.
Well, again, the Dallas Cowboys blitz, so it leaves the receivers in man coverage. And Deion Sanders, if there is one weakness he has as a corner, when you study him on film, he will let you throw the inside routes, especially those crossing routes. And that's what we saw right there. That's why Kansas City was successful.
4:12 left in the third period. Kansas City down 21-6. Going deep for Davis. Deion Sanders in position again.
Well, that's what I said. Oh no! I mean, I could see Bono looking, and I could see Davis going down, and I could see 4 guys covering Davis plus Deion. So that's 6.
Well, you know,
well, look at all the guys. Come here.
You know what happens in quarterback? You're playing quarterback. Most of the times when you see this coverage, this receiver should be open for you. But right there, you can see the reaction not only of Sanders but Larry Brown coming off the other side of the corner and taking and giving the coverage.
There was no one else out in the pattern?
They were all short.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Off a fake. It's complete to Webster Slaughter. And the former Cleveland Brown and Houston Oiler has a first down at midfield.
If you're ever going to get Deion to commit to anything, just keep throwing this in route until he does make a break, and then you go up on Deion. Because you're absolutely right. He'll give you this inside, but you are not going to beat him deep. And I don't care if you think you have him beat. He can close on the ball better than anyone I've ever seen in the game.
You agree he's the best cornerback or man cover player you've ever seen?
Dick, honestly, it's not even close. I mean, I just am so impressed when I watch him on film and everything. I've never seen a corner do the play coverage and take away passes like he does. When you throw the ball on the sidelines against him, you are taking a chance that he will intercept it. But the thing is, not only intercept it, but try to score with it. That's what really sets him apart.
See, the other thing about throwing against to him underneath like that, Phil, we know that he has a groin pull. We know that he has
didn't practice the last 2 days.
He hasn't practiced at all. That's one of the reasons why he's not with the offense. But we know that. So it's very difficult for him to make that cut stop to come back to the inside. But when you run deep on him, he's got a straight run. He can make that run.
Hill picked up 5 yards on first down, and now they move Hill out, and Bono running out of time. Calls time with 2:37 left in the third.
Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, an NFL on NBC doubleheader. First, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, and the AFC East leading Bills host Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Then, triple threat Cordell Stewart and the red-hot first-place Steelers battle the Browns. Or regional action.
The NFL on NBC, home of Super Bowl 30.
Well, a lot of jewels in the crowd today. Those happen to belong to Fairlin Sanders, Deion's wife, and there's Deion Jr.
He wants his turkey now.
He's hungry. So are the Chiefs, down 21-6. Second down and 5 at the Cowboy 45. Late in the third. Bono pumps, throws, wide open, late Dawson. Dawson, touchdown.
Man, was that beautiful. I'm telling you, Bono that time, that pump fake, and again, I like to go back to the offensive line. It gives him time. But that pump fake and then Dawson down the middle, I mean, that gave him time to clear everything, Phil.
Yeah, it was an excellent job. Excellent play design by the Kansas City Chiefs, and Bono does an excellent job of looking off the safety and creating that big hole down the middle.
45 yards. Bono to Lake Dawson. The former Notre Dame star has his 5th touchdown of the year, and the Chiefs down 21-12 will go for 2 and try to get it back on a 7-point deficit. Slaughter goes right, and Willie Davis says, no, come back over here with me to the left. Marcus Allen not in the game. Anders the only running back, and he goes into the pattern. Bono. Slaughter was the closest Chief. It remains 21-12. 2.5 left in the third.
the True Value NFL Man of the Year, honoring outstanding service on and off the field since 1970. Johnny Unitas won the first True Value NFL Man of the Year award. Last season, the Chargers' Junior Seau became the 25th winner for attacking the problems of child abuse, drugs, and gangs with the same ferocity that he brings to the gridiron. The All-Pro linebacker joined a prestigious list of citizen athletes who have given to their communities and their teams, excelling in football and contributing to society. The True Value NFL Man of the Year.
And a reminder, the 95 winner of the True Value NFL Man of the Year will be honored in Phoenix the week before Super Bowl 30. Nominees from the Chiefs include Neil Smith, Joe Phillips, and Joe Valerio. Dallas nominees, Troy Aikman, Darrell Johnston, and Russell Maryland. And in uniform, who in their community give back to others. And we salute each one of the nominees. On this Thanksgiving Day, Lake Dawson with his first catch, 45-yard touchdown to complete a long Kansas City drive of 83 yards. Dion is on the field. He's down at the 10-yard line as Lynn Elliott kicks it the other way. Gives it a reverse. Kevin Williams starts toward Dion, fakes to him, keeps it, and is out to the 35-yard line. Let's go back to the Kansas City touchdown.
Well, how does a receiver get so wide open against a defense like this? Here's Lake Dawson right here, Darren Smith, but the key is Brock Marion. Watch him come outside and open up that big hole down the middle for Lake Dawson. He goes with the fake outside. The pump fake by Steve Bono makes Brock Marion go to the outside. That's why Lake Dawson's wide open down the middle.
Darren Smith has good speed, but not fast enough to stay with Dawson. 21-12 Dallas, 2:19 left in the third. Emmett. Not much there, maybe a yard.
Not to belabor a point, but let's go back to the field goal attempt that was not made or didn't go for. They went for it on 4th down, Kansas City Chiefs. Had they made the field goal, that would have given them 16 points. The reason I say 16 is 12 now. They would have kicked a 1 and put them within 5 points. Now they are a touchdown and a field goal away. They would have been just a touchdown to take the lead. And it changes the complexion of the ball game.
Well, it changes the way you call your plays on both sides of the ball, even your defense. Maybe now you got to take an extra chance because you need that extra possession to score the other points.
Novacek in motion on 2nd and 9. Aikman incomplete and a flag down. His receiver, Michael Irvin, knocked down by Tracy Simeon.
Tracy Simeon, you know, it applies to linebackers along with defensive backs. When a receiver comes underneath, you can't hit him before the ball gets there.
Well, he was only about 2 seconds early, so it wasn't too bad.
Only.
Pass interference, number 54 of the defense. Automatic first down.
Well, Tracy Simeon does a good job. What he does, he stays in position, but he sees Michael Irvin coming across, and instead of just looking for the pass, he decides, well, I'm going to take a free shot at him because he's coming in my territory.
Right, and he's also, well, he's within the 5-yard limit of hitting the guy, so you can't hit him in there. The only problem is you can't hit him when the ball's in the air.
Only the third penalty. First down at the 39-yard line for Dallas. Twists out of a tackle, and then he sees Tracy Rogers right there, so goes down. Keith Traylor was the man who was in the backfield, and Emmett in pain.
Keith Traylor, number 94. Watch his penetration. Keith Traylor is the guy that's going to come inside right here. He's being held to the line of scrimmage. He just knocks Emmett back to the outside. Now, what happens here is this. Does he pull his hamstring? I mean, it might be his hamstring again. He goes down, yeah.
He was on his toes on that left foot as he fell down.
You know, and we talked to this team, and you know, I know you guys have talked to other teams and other players. And look at Emmett here. He makes that stretch, and that's when he goes down. Now, he might have twisted his ankle and he stepped on his own man.
It looked like his ankle was caught underneath him just a little, and there was a real hard torque on it just as he gets hit. Watch right here. It could, yeah, that's, I don't know if it's his left ankle. Right there, when he turns, that foot stays planted, and that torque on it might have got the ankle or the inside of his knee. I'm not sure.
You know, what I was going to say, I want to ask you guys, we've talked to the Dallas Cowboys, and you talked to all these other people in the defensive and all these other people around. All right, I want you to think about something. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys, the three guys, Aikman, Irving, and this guy, Emmitt Smith, who is the most important?
Well, that's a good question, and we get a different answer from everybody. And like Barry Switzer, we talked to him. He thought maybe the most important was Michael Irvin, because he says he is my only receiver on this football team outside. If we lose him, we might as well shut up camp and go home.
Or just run the ball from here on out. That brings it, Dick, back to who do you think it is?
Well, as we look at owner Jerry Jones, and that's part of the franchise, the big three, Emmitt Smith being helped off the field. Well, I think it's this man. I think it's Emmitt, because until you stop him, I don't think you can beat the Cowboys.
All right, I want to be the guy that takes the third guy. I'll take Troy Aikman, and the only reason I'm doing that is because the only two losses that the Dallas Cowboys have is when Troy Aikman's been knocked out of the ball game. Then they were unable to really move the football. They had this guy healthy, and they had Irving healthy. So I think that, you know, but if being realistic, Dick, it takes all three of these guys to move this offense.
That's what it is. I mean, it's just a great scenario of teamwork, having a good wide receiver like Michael Irvin, having a wonderful quarterback who's accurate throwing it to him. That helps too.
So 2nd and 12 is Sherman Williams, the rookie from Alabama, replaces Smith into the Johnston, but no gain, maybe even a loss of a yard. Well read by Martin Bayless.
Do you see what Martin Bayless did, Phil? He goes down to Johnston, and the only way that you're really going to bring this guy down, as small as Bayless is and as big as Johnston is to hit him right in his feet.
Now they're shielding our view with that towel as they look at Emmitt Smith.
He probably pulled his pants down to see. Well, they're looking at his knee, and that's what they don't want you to see. Yeah. It's his knee.
Third down, 11. Aikman, he's hit by Smith, and Neil Smith has his 8th sack of the year.
That's where you have to give credit to your secondary. Again, good coverage downfield. They make Troy Aikman look for that second and third receiver. That gives Neil Smith just that extra time. The nice rip uppercut and gets to Troy Aikman.
And the other thing, too, Dick, they forget about the run. They know they're not going to run the football. It's 3rd and long. But again, Emmitt Smith is not there.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. Dallas 21, Kansas City 12. Back after these words from your local station. Dallas Cowboys look at their star running back Emmitt Smith's left knee as we open the 4th quarter. Chris Bonio for the injured John Jett will be the punter. Vanover back at the 30 of Kansas City. End over end. Good kick, however. Great bounce. Bonio, what a kick! As he subs for Jett all the way to the 13-yard line. A 56-yard punt for Bonio. Kansas City ball at the 14-yard line. Who carves the turkey? I'm in charge of the Chardonnay and the Bordeaux. You want to take the turkey?
I thought the thing was, who is the turkey?
Yeah, that's right. That's more important.
Bono. Wide open as the tight end Cash. No one picked him up. And Cash, first down at the 32-yard line. 18 on the play. But the focus here in Dallas, and the concern, of course, is on number 22, Emmitt Smith.
All right, we're going to show it to you. We're going to stop something here. Watch Emmitt Smith, and I'm going to circle a couple things. His ankle and his knee. His ankle and his knee. Right here is where it's going to happen. Watch this. That never moves. And then watch his whole body will turn this way. And when he does that, his ankle stays. And there's where his knee gets hurt right there. Look at his ankle on the ground. His foot, when he comes back, you'll see that step there. And then that's when he goes down.
First down, Chiefs. They trail by 9. The give is to Hill. He's got terrific speed. And Hill, who went from Dallas High School to Texas A&M to a number 1 pick for the Chiefs, running hard out to the 40. A gain of 8 more. Darren Smith made the tackle. And the Chiefs are perhaps the best 4th quarter team in the NFL. Look at the games where they've been behind in the 4th. Down 2 touchdowns. The Giants won in overtime. Beat the Raiders. Beat the lost to the Browns, trailing in the 4th, and beat the Chargers. and they've won 3 overtime games. Play action for Bono. Well protected. Goes long. Vanover. What a catch! Against Larry Brown, and the rookie from Florida State has continued impact on this game.
Let me ask you something. Tell me, what was Larry Brown waiting on? It looked like he had great position, Phil.
Well, you're going to see right here, he's trying not to cause interference. I don't know if he knows the ball's coming. Vanover waits the last second to reach out and catch it. Good job by Tamarick Vanover keeping himself between defender and the ball. Watch right here. He sees the ball coming. Larry Brown really never looking for it, waits too long.
He never looked at the ball. He never looked back for the ball, Brown.
40-yard catch for Vanover, who has 3 receptions today. Now it's Hill, and Hill drives close to the 15, a gain of 5. And we started the telecast today talking about the 46-man depth of Kansas City and how in the 4th quarter they've outplayed teams all year long. Some feel it's because they've used all their players and they're fresher in the 4th than the opposition. Is that what we're seeing here?
You're seeing it with wide receivers. You see it all the way across on defense. They're still fresh. And the other thing is, as soon as Emmett went out, the defense picked it up, and the offense now knows the defense can pick it up. All we have to do is score.
2nd down and 5. Fake to Hill. Bono. Oh, he hit. Fumbles. Darren Smith could go all the way. Smith has 1 man to beat. Tim Grunard gets caught from behind inside the 10. Flag is down. Greg Hill, racing from 20 yards back, made the tackle.
I'll tell you what, after you describe the hit, I'm going to tell you about Grunard. You talk about a guy that can move the center.
Well, one thing the Dallas Cowboy defense was not going to let the Kansas City offense do is run these bootlegs. They were going to keep Steve Bono in the pocket to make him throw it. There was a good example of it. That's why I caused the fumble.
All right, now here's the fumble. That's Tony Tobert. Tobert is hitting right here. Boom, the ball goes down. Now, number 61 is the center, Grunard. You see him being blocked right there? Now watch who gets downfield, outruns the linebacker, and forces his team to come back in from the other side. Now there's Hill, but look at 61, Grunard, the center, who was behind him when he picked up the ball. That is some kind of hustle.
Well, credit Tolbert forcing the 2nd fumble this year, and Darren Smith, with a penalty against Kansas City half the distance, takes it to the 4-yard line. What a turnabout with Bono and the Chiefs with momentum trying to cut into that 21-12 lead and down to the 15. And suddenly it's the Cowboys only 4 yards away from adding to their 9-point lead.
Kansas City had everything going its way on offense, but then the Dallas defense, like we said earlier, they've been waiting all day for these bootlegs. Charles Haley and Tony Tolbert told us they were not going to let Steve Bono fake one way and roll out and get those cheap passing yards.
Sherman Williams now behind Darrell Johnston. Maybe a yard into the center of that Kansas City defense. And the irony of all this is the Chiefs are the kings of the turnovers. They have a +11 on the year. In the 90s, they're so far ahead. There are twice the number of turnovers of the team, the Giants, in 2nd place. And that is the first turnover of this game. And it goes big against Kansas City.
You got a feeling maybe we may be watching Super Bowl 29.5 today? Because we got 30.
With a fake. Novacek well covered, trying to weave his way through 3 defenders. We saw Jerry Jones from his luxury box earlier. He has since made the elevator trip down to the field to console Emmitt Smith.
Well, that kind of tells me, it warns me, Dick, that could be some bad news, that he's trying to come down and console him, like it could be more than just a game or 2 out, that it could be a serious injury to his knee.
We're going to take Smith into the X-ray room, sprained left knee. Meanwhile, 3rd and goal for Aikman at the 4.
Oh, offside.
Throw is incomplete, and another flag as Hasty defends Michael Irvin.
No, the flag was not against Hasty. That was a late one coming out, Dick, and it was right there in front of him, so it looked like it might have been interference, too. It was just offside is all it was.
Offside, number 50. Half a distance to the goal. Repeat, third down.
Third and goal from the 2 as they have Emmitt Smith aboard, and the cart taking him back to the Dallas Cowboy locker room and for x-rays, and those pictures will be as important as any seen in Dallas over this Thanksgiving holiday.
So Jerry Jones on the field. I love what he told Mike Ditka a week ago. I paid $140 million. I can go down the field anytime I want.
Again, the body language of Emmitt Smith and the people around him does tend to make me believe that this could be a serious injury to his knee.
We have a timeout with 11:04 left in the fourth quarter. $11 and change left in the fourth with the Cowboys at the door. 21-12. This is just moments ago. Jim Gray down in the tunnel that leads up to the locker room.
All right, Dick. Well, Emmitt Smith came off the field. The doctors and the trainers for the Cowboys told me it's a sprained knee. They're going to x-ray it right now to determine the severity. All I can tell you is Emmitt is in quite a bit of pain, and he had tears in his eyes as he went into the locker room on that stretcher. Dick?
All right, Jim, if you hear anything else, I know you'll call in. Big play here for the Chiefs defense to stay in the game. Third and goal at the 2. Aikman. Johnston was well covered by Doug Terry. Terry, the star of the win against Houston on Sunday night with that big fumble forcing hit.
Well, you know, it's really something unusual because we showed you a graphic of the Dallas Cowboys early inside the 20-yard line in the red zone of how they score. And here's Emmitt Smith, not in the football game, Dick. They get the ball down there inside the 10-yard line, and the only part that they moved was on a penalty.
Yeah, they actually had 4 chances with the penalty to knock it in from the 4. Now settled for the 20-yard field goal attempt by Bonio. And he easily knocks it through. It's 24-12. And Kansas City still within 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of times the Dallas Cowboys, they get down near the goal line on 3rd and 2. I would say it's at least 50-50 they're going to run it or throw it. And Emmitt Smith out of there, it's probably 100% pass.
Today, the MetLife blimp cruising the skies above Texas Stadium, and how beautiful the day. Powered by twin engines, capable of reaching speeds greater than 57 miles an hour. Snoopy 1 can navigate at altitudes in excess of 6,000 feet and prefers drumsticks. Thank you on this Thanksgiving Day.
Isn't that a beautiful picture, though?
That old line by Texas Ram put the roof in the arena so that God could see his team. Further update on Emmitt Smith. Let's go back to Jim Gray.
Okay, thank you very much, Dick. I'm joined by Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboy. Jerry, I put you in this situation as a medical doctor, but you spoke with Emmitt Smith. What's wrong and what's the prognosis?
Well, we spoke with our trainers, and injuries hurt his knee. We'll do an MRI on it tomorrow. He's through for the night today, and we hope that it's stable. Our trainer is optimistic. It's difficult to tell if there's any looseness right now, but it is his knee, and we'll see how severe it is tomorrow.
The severity will be determined over a 24-hour period.
Correct.
Do you have any early indication, though?
No, after we have an MRI, and they gave us some hope. It wasn't as loose as all the other knees we've seen that need to be operated on.
Jerry, thank you. If you get any further information, get back to us. Dick?
All right, Jim. Vanover with a kick return out to the 27-28 where Billy Davis made the tackle. Now Steve Bono with plenty of time, 10:45. Remember, Kansas City has spent 1 timeout here in the second half, so they have but 2.
Hey, you got to like Jim Gray now. He said to Jerry Jones, if you get any more information, get back to us on that, will you?
And you know what? I think Jerry will.
I think so. Jim told him, get back to me as soon as you can.
It's a great hill, and he's dragged down by Darren Smith.
He wanted that quick slant, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. When we saw that long pass back in the last series, right before that fumble, they finally got the other corner, Larry Brown, singled up on a receiver one-on-one. And I would think they're going to try to do that again, but the Cowboys should be pretty smart and just keep Dion in the singles.
Brown is playing the defensive right side. To the left is Dion against It's Lake Dawson. Underneath they go. Slips away across the 40 or to the 40, enough for a first down. 10 yards for Anders, who leads the Chiefs, coming in with 47 catches.
Well, let's take a look right here. Here's Deion Sanders. Now look, this is on the far left hash. Look where the rest of the Cowboys are. They're going to let him cover this whole area of the field. And really, Steve Bono again wanted to throw the ball down here to the single coverage, but you just can't. He's got it well covered.
Kimmel Anders did a great job on Dixon Edwards. He just pulled back a little bit, let him commit himself, and then picked up the first down.
9 minutes, 40 seconds of the remaining to Vanover. And Vanover breaking tackles again. Oh, he is tough to the 46-yard line. Those are the kinds of moves where you're being hit and bombarded from all sides, where the ball often pops free, but he doesn't fumble much.
You see what he did, though? As soon as he caught the ball, watch what Vanover, number 87, does. Watch the explosion. Now, straight up the field. I don't care who's out there. He's going up. He almost broke the tackle.
You think he hasn't had an influence today? 212 yards from Vanover. 108 on kickoff. There you see it. 12 punt. 85 on receptions and 7 more on a rush.
He should throw one somewhere along here, shouldn't he?
On second down, it's Leroy Thompson to the 50 and very close to that stick. We'll see if they move the chains. Russell Maryland makes the tackle. It is a first down. Clock running, 8:43. Michael Irvin watches as he and Aikman, I'm sure all the Cowboys and their fans, their thoughts are back in that Dallas locker room, hoping that Emmett isn't seriously injured.
Well, the good news we heard, though, is the knee is stable, and it didn't move around when the doctors were shaking it, so that tends to, you hope, you believe that it's not a serious injury.
Bono goes long for Davis, and Deion limping as he pulls up. But he has enough speed when he needs it to cover.
You know, when you look at this thing, though, with Davis, Dick, and you just wonder, now, could Deion have gone inside? I think Deion knows that the ball's overthrown. Can he get inside? Look, he is right there.
But there's a good shot right there. One thing Steve Bono's got to do in those situations, Deion, right here, watch him. He's on the outside. Lead the receiver across the field, not up it. When you lead the receiver up the field, Deion's going to outrun you. But across the field, the receiver can keep Deion behind him.
18 for 32, 260 yards throwing, gets another 10. Nope, no catch is the call against Webster Slaughter. Jerry Switzer said that's good officiating.
I think Webster Slaughter, what he did, though, he went down a little bit too soon on this play. He should have come back just a little bit further. He's down on his knees. Well, I'll tell you, that is very close.
No, he's got it between his knees. That wedge between his knees on the ground. See? No catch.
There it is. That's when it touches.
Oh, 3rd and 10. Bono against Sanders and overthrows. Lake Dawson, the target. Tony Tolbert, who forced the fumble earlier, hit Bono as he released.
They're going to go. They're going to punt the ball away. They have 8 minutes and 2 seconds. The Chiefs, 2 timeouts. That's all they have left. That pass, you know, you complete one against Deion.
No, you compete, Larry. Yeah, on the outside you did.
One.
Right.
One. Yeah, you're going to go over there on 3rd and 10. I mean, there are other places to go on this field.
Well, they should be convinced that you just can't get deep on him on these post patterns, but they keep trying them. So
Aguiar hits it high. Williams forced ball for the fair catch at the 13-yard line. 37 on the bunt. Neil Smith, his hero or heroine, said my mom, Letitia. She raised 3 of us, and if I could be like anyone, be like her. And she's the greatest cook. We saw her at work in New Orleans last year, fed the whole Chiefs team, making her favorite sweet potato pie. Boy, and I tell you what, it is low calorie.
Well, that's unsalted butter. Look how good that is.
Oh, boy.
You think that's, wouldn't you love to have a taste of the final product, Paul? I mean, wouldn't you just, with enough to make a grown man salivate, isn't it?
Give me a piece.
This has been hand-delivered all the way from
Will you
the
quit
Smith
talking and give me
household
some?
so that we could share on this Thanksgiving Day. All right, I'm just going to let you have a little bit of it.
Be careful with your fingers, Dick. There you go.
What do you think?
I don't know yet.
Hey, Paul.
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Wait a minute.
Have you ever tasted anything you didn't like? That's what I want to know.
No, not good.
Aikman from his own end zone pumps, throws long, incomplete. Mark Collins and James Hasty double cover Michael Irvin. And Dion, you wonder, Dion keeps playing with that groin pull, and you've gone through that and seen teammates, Phil, and you just wonder, even with the extra days off, to get ready for Washington a week from Sunday, if Dion might be better off taking a day off.
Well, I think it's a blessing in disguise for the Cowboys. Of course, they get these few extra days, and it was really, honestly, it was a little touch and go whether he would even play defense today. So it's getting better, and with the 10 days off before the next game, he should be completely healthy.
That stops the clock for Kansas City. The incomplete pass, Sherman Williams to the 12-yard line, and protecting the ball. I'm sure well instructed in that regard is a magnificent day for this Thanksgiving, and Texas comes to an end.
Dick, at the end of the first quarter, Michael Irvin had what? How many catches?
Michael Irvin.
We're
in Irving.
Irvin had what? 9, 10?
9 for 107 yards.
And he still has what? 9 for 107 yards. One touchdown. He hadn't caught a pass since the first quarter. I mean, that's, to me, is incredible.
They did a full day work in the first quarter. That's why he hasn't.
Big play for Kansas City. They give it to Williams on the reverse. Kevin Williams. At the 19, first down. Now they use that play and have since Jimmy Johnson drafted Kevin Williams, and it seems to always give you positive yards.
Well, it was a good job of the Dallas offense, faking like they're going to go left, and here comes Williams around the right side. The Kansas City defense overreacts, going the wrong way. That's why he's able to pick up the first down easily.
Boy, big old Nate Newton out there. He just blocked out the hole in the roof there so that they couldn't see who had the ball.
He brought that
goat is going to taste good tonight for old Nate. Irvin, there's a catch for him, but it's only good for 2 yards out to the 21. George Jameson, the tackler. We had that offensive line. We had our experts call the turkey people and said that the average, if you're going to cook a turkey, you want to figure each person's going to eat about 1.5 pounds. So if you have 4 people eating, you want at least a 6-pound bird, right? Well, what if you have 2 and 8? And what if you invite old Nate in there to eat? And how about Donaldson? And even a substitute Kennard. We'll get back to it. Don't gobble it up yet. Sherman Williams battle his way to a first down out to the 32. And Neil Smith and Kevin Williams a little push, 10 yards on the run and a first down. Let's see, those guys still eating, you suppose, that offensive line? Allen, he enjoys a good piece of turkey, and so does Eric Williams. But if you're going to cook for those 5 guys, our experts say you better get 2 20-pound turkeys.
And no leftovers?
Nothing left. You know what? They may be right. That might even work in this booth. First down, that's Johnson. And he straightened up. Davis and Nickel and others. Timeout called by Kansas City with 5:09 remaining in the fourth, and Marty Schottenheimer now has but 1 timeout left. It's 24-12. The Cowboys trying to hand Kansas City its 2nd defeat of the year.
I don't care what it takes. You get me Dion.
Dion! Are you ready? I was born ready. Run, cowboy.
Hot dang, if I had 11 men like that, I could rule the world.
Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, an NFL on NBC doubleheader. First, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, and the AFC East leading Bills host Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots. Then, triple threat Cordell Stewart and the red-hot first-place Steelers battle the Browns. Or regional action.
The NFL on NBC, home of Super Bowl 30.
So the Kansas City Chiefs, who came here hoping to steal a win against the highly favored Dallas Cowboys. Fans with their signs. Kansas, oh, Santa's a Kansas City fan.
Came from Pittsburgh.
Dallas on second down. Throw by Aikman. Irvin with a catch. Hit by Dale Carter. And Irvin, jaw Jackson, Carter and Irvin go at each other.
I'll tell you, that was some kind of hit by Carter. And these guys, you know, Kansas City may be beaten in this ball game, but they're still not. They're going to let some people know on the way out. Look at these guys. They're fighting all the way up the field. Carter staying with him. Irvin comes back. Irvin comes back. And Carter, bam, in the back. I mean, that's legal. There's nothing wrong with that.
Good job of holding on that ball with two hands. You saw Mike Irvin. Also, an excellent throw by Troy Aikman, who was moving to his right and going towards the sideline, able to get enough on the ball to get it down the field.
Final 5 minutes, stop the clock out of bounds. He said he used to carry the ball 20 times a game at Syracuse, so he said, I wasn't just a blocker. But, of course, he's filled that role so magnificently that the whole league has recognized him with 2 straight Pro Bowl appearances.
Well, he didn't have Emmitt Smith in the backfield with him at Syracuse either, so that's one of the reasons why he's not getting it down here.
Well, you know, he's from Youngstown, New York, which is right outside of Buffalo.
Not Youngstown, Ohio, but Youngstown, New York. That's a little, about 2,500 or so, right?
Yeah, a little town outside of Buffalo. But I'll tell you the one thing about this guy, when we talked to him yesterday, the nice thing about him, Dick, of all the guys we talked to during the course of the year, there are role players. He knows his role. He's accepted it from the day he came here. He knows that he's a blocker first, runner second, and maybe catch a ball once in a while. But this guy is a complete football player.
Complimentary player is what coaches call him. They do indeed compliment. NBC's Thanksgiving holiday extravaganza continues Sunday with Jurassic Park, one of the biggest motion pictures of all time. Sunday at a special time. Mark it down, 8:30, 7:30 Central, from director Steven Spielberg. Jurassic Park, Sunday on NBC.
I wonder, would that be good eating? I mean, do you think they had that like Thanksgiving Day? That
Not if you have goat as a choice.
I'm telling you, folks. I mean, I don't know how many people in this country has had goat. I imagine a lot of them.
Well, you know, wait, you asked Jerry Jones, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I've had goat,
barbecued. He said a lot of barbecue.
Marinate and barbecue. That's what you do."
But Nate said, "I just had goat. He didn't. He just ate it."
Said he might have one drumstick, but if he has it, he wants it all the way down, including the thigh, and some French fries. The toss to Williams. Young legs. All the way to the 33-yard line.
Well, this is what is so impressive about this Dallas Cowboy offense. Here it is late in the game. You're trying to eat up some clock. This is fourth straight first down they've gotten. You know they're going to run the football. And look at the hole. The offensive line opens up. Williams, nobody really to avoid there right there. And finally, the safety, William White, comes over to make the play to stop Williams from scoring a touchdown.
You know, Williams is averaging 5 yards a carry. His little reserve work for Emmitt Smith had 161 yards coming in. He's 5 for 41 over an 8-yard average today. He does paint a nice picture in that open field. Well, down at the 30 this time.
Dick, let's go back to the 3 things I said. Who were the most important? Was it Aikman, was it Emmett, or was it Irvin? Now, it's the offensive line. I'm going to tell you what, take all those other ingredients out. Look at these guys. And then we go back to what Marty Schottenheimer told us. We may have the best 46 players better than this team here. Well, I'll tell you what, their 22, as he said, are probably better than ours. They're starters, and I think they're showing that.
Well, you got to remember the Cowboys now, they have about 8 players that do 95% of the work. So that 46, it's hard for you to make analogy sometimes about your whole team because so few really figure into making those big plays.
Under 3 minutes to go. They give to Williams, and no hole that time. Williams stuffed by Dan Saliamua. You know, we should mention, and Phil, you were talking about the league as they have Irvin and Carter. Probably this is a rebound of echo, if you will, from their confrontation on the sidelines.
He wants one of the officials wants somebody thrown out of the ball game. Now Carter was being held by the official, and then he's pushing the official. That's something you just don't do. Here they go. These two guys are going at it.
Wow, yes.
They're swinging. Now look, see when they grab each other's face mask.
Got a personal foul. Number 34 for kicking after the play, after the skirmish is broken up, and he's ejected.
They got him for the kick, and all of that didn't count, but the kick did.
All right, 34 is Carter, folks. Here's the kick underneath. Yeah-ha-ha. That's old karate move. But, you know.
Oh, another kick. There was the one.
There's a double kick.
Out.
And that's when they threw the flag. But all the face mask stuff didn't mean anything, Dick.
Oh.
So the field judge throws it.
Reflecting perhaps the frustration of this Kansas City team. They came in on an emotional high. Best record in the NFL. Chance to prove itself in Dallas. And it's come up empty for them.
I have to wonder if some of that by Michael Irvin going after these defensive backs, are they retaliating for Deion Sanders the way the Kansas City receivers went after him early in the game, going low, trying to cut him.
Well, and Irvin, you could see him intimidating off the line of scrimmage. He headbutted Carter a couple of times to start it. And he taunted him after that play on the sidelines. And the younger player, Carter, was baited, perhaps.
And isn't it almost every time, Dick, the second guy gets caught? I mean, they don't see the first hit, the one that antagonizes the player. Then the second one.
Well, when you throw a kick like he did in there, that's...
you got to go.
You got to go. That's right.
He just read Marty's lips and he's saying to Carter, but you cost us a first down.
Well, and he's coaching for the next game. You can't let your cornerback hurt your team. 2:29. Williams hitting the backfield. Still on his feet, and then loses a yard. Well, part of the frustration for Carter, Irvin, 11 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown early. We approach the 2-minute timeout. The Chiefs have no more timeouts. Well, the pain in the face of Dale Carter. His Thanksgiving Day is fini. Oh, a beautiful look at downtown Dallas from the MetLife Blimp. Snoopy 1. Thanks for providing the coverage of today's game from Texas Stadium. The MetLife Blimp, much like us at NBC Sports, does not require a home base. Constantly on the road, logging over 60,000 miles a year. Sherman Williams. And pushed out of bounds at the 13.
Well, it looked like offside by Kansas City, but the flags were just a tad late. You know, I love this time of the year, Dick. I'm telling you, right after Thanksgiving, I start rooting for Santa Claus. I love that guy.
Offside. Number 97 of the defense. 5 yards. Still second down.
Hat trick for Sally Amua. Third offside.
There he is.
There's your man, Paul.
He's got his eye on you, too, Paul.
I bring this up because, you know, where your son keeps looking up the chimney. He wants to know
my 7-year-old, I catch him about twice a week looking up the chimney. Got a quizzical look. I said, you just got to figure out that's why he's Santa. That's how he does it. Who else could?
The big question is, Paul, were you a good boy this year? Are you going to get something good?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I want a tricycle.
With heavy-duty wheels.
Williams darts to the 8. Tracy Rogers makes the tackle. Well, Lamar Hunt, who lives here in Dallas, one of the founders of the American Football League, thought he'd be an NFL owner, and going to Minnesota. He had the Dallas Texans for 3 years, and then they became the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the most respected men in football. At a disappointing time. His hometown, a chance for him to really show that the AFC had a powerhouse team, a team 10-1 that was not deserving of being, what, 11-point underdog, whatever it was. They trailed by 12. 3rd and 3, no way to stop the clock. Williams pinned at the 6-yard line by Tracy Rogers. Well, this really has been an important game for the Oakland Raiders to watch. The Raiders also defeated by Dallas. If Kansas City, and we're presuming they're going to lose 10-3, and if the Raiders beat San Diego, it's the Raiders in Kansas City a week from Sunday.
That's right, and we'll be out there to watch that game. And I think a big question is, it looks like Jeff Hostetler is not going to play Monday night against the San Diego Chargers. So if the Raiders somehow can win that football game, it gives them a chance the following week to come in and play for the division tie for the Kansas City Chiefs.
4th down. Clock running. Williams to the 6-yard line. That won't be enough, and the clock stopped on the change of possession. Kansas City with 26 seconds gets it back at the 6-yard line.
Maybe a moot point, but I'll tell you right now, I like the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are up by 12 points. There's no sense in kicking a field goal and burying this team. They went for it on 4th down, got the clock running. Maybe he took off 4 or 5 seconds. Here's Kansas City, no timeouts, 24 to 12, 26 seconds to go, and they've got 94 yards to go. Nothing happened.
And also, don't take the chance of getting it blocked and running back for a touchdown and giving the team what little opportunity there is.
But the victory has a hollow aspect. Ray Donaldson, a fractured leg early, and we wait the word tomorrow of the examination of the very high-priced knee of Emmitt Smith. I don't think there's anyone that loves the game of football that won't be rooting for Emmitt Smith. You want to see him back and playing. He's one of the superstars and supermen. And a flag down.
Half the distance to the goal. It's still 1st down.
Cowboys used up 7.5 minutes, 15 plays in that drive when Kansas City ran out of timeouts. Well executed. And Sherman Williams showed that at least for that drive was an able substitute. Nate Newton going to see. He's got about 20 of his family here from Orlando.
He's looking for the turkey.
High school coach Lake Dawson hit at the 12-yard line.
Nate said, I'm not eating turkey. I'm eating ham. I'm eating ham. I've been eating. I'm eating ham all long.
That's Trey there. Nate Newton the third. To Dawson, hit by Bryce as the game comes to an end. Dallas 10-2, Kansas City 10-2. The Cowboys win it 24-12. Their Thanksgiving Day record now 19-8-1. And while Kansas City had its moments, Dallas was a rather convincing winner. Aikman did his part. Irvin certainly had a huge game, especially the first half, that spectacular catch. But the downside is Emmitt Smith on a day where he went over the 1,400-yard mark with an injured knee. Stand by. We'll be back with a word, hopefully, from one of the players and coaches in just a moment.